పనులు చేసేస్తే
హెల్ప్ లైన్ 1098 పిల్లల భద్రత సంరక్షణ కోసం ఏర్పాటు చేసిన వ్యవస్థ. ఇది దేశవ్యాప్తంగా 24 గంటలు పనిచేస్తుంది. చైల్డ్ హెల్ప్ లైన్ భారత ప్రభుత్వ మహిళా శిశు అభివృద్ధి మంత్రిత్వ శాఖ ఆధ్వర్యంలో పనిచేస్తుంది. మీలో ఎవరికైనా పిల్లలకు రక్షణ భద్రత అవసరం అనిపిస్తే వెంటనే 1098కు ఫోన్ చేయండి.
సహాయం కోసం 181 ఉమెన్ హెల్ప్ లైన్కి ఫోన్ చేయండి.
Hi everyone, so welcome back to Google IT Support certification course. So this is Vinay speaking with you. So in the previous session, so we have seen we talked about DNS. So DNS part 1, where we seen what is DNS, what is the use of DNS, what is the purpose of DNS, how internet works with the help of DNS. Okay, all these things we discussed in the DNS part 1. So this is our DNS second session. So today we will be talking about how to configure DNS service. So we'll see how to create zones, primary zones, secondary zones in our today's session. Even we'll talk about Active Directory integrated zone, which is very important for IT experts if you are working in a Windows sector. So if your network is Windows, so DNS is must. So an Active Directory integrated zone plays very crucial role. So what is the importance? How to troubleshoot that we will discuss in our today's session. Okay. So first we'll see how to create a DNS primary zones. So let us go. Let us check this once the server. You can see here. So this is our 2012 operating system. Now you cannot install configure DNS service in Windows 10 or Windows 8 because DNS service is available in the server operating systems. Okay. So to save our time, I already installed this service DNS, domain naming service. But how I have installed, let us see. So in server operating system 2012, if I want to install any service, I'll be using a console called as server manager. In server manager, we have a option called as add rules and features. So if I click next, all I need to do is go to this page, server roles. So just leave the options default, click next. Server roles. So server operating system 2012 provides so many services like Active Directory. In the previous sessions we have discussed so many features. So what service you want to install, just check that box. So today our practical is regarding DNS. As I said, to save our time, because installation will take almost 2 to 3 minutes. So to save our time, I already installed this service. All you need to do is check the box, click next and install. So which already I have done. So once installation is done, in the start you will get a console DNS. Okay, this is DNS console. Now what is the purpose of DNS? Naming conversion, converting names to IP addresses to name. Like in the last class session we already talked, we took an example of a website. So how users will access website. So www. So I'll open my browser. So www.yahoo.com, facebook.com, google.com, you'll enter this address. Immediately you'll get the web page. But using name you cannot contact Yahoo server. You need IP address of the Yahoo server, but you don't know the IP address of Yahoo server. So who is going to tell you the DNS server? Now here let's assume in our office, maybe let's say you are working in an organization as an IT administrator. Your company has a website. For that website you need to configure DNS server in your office. How to configure that? That is what I am going to show you practically. Now let us say we have a website www. xyz.com. So we hosted a website like that. So in the next sessions, I'll be showing you practically how to configure website also, how to configure web service. Okay. So let's assume we have a website like www.xyz.com. So I want to host this website. So for this website in my organization, I have to configure a DNS server. How to configure that? That is what I am going to show you. Okay. So let's go back to our server operating system now. So a user is browsing www.xyz.com. So in your company, the employee is browsing your website, which is present in your office. Every company has a website, right? Every company, you name it, any organization website will be there. So this is your company website xyz.com. So immediately using name, you cannot contact the web server. You need IP. Who is going to tell the IP address? DNS server. So a request came to DNS server. What is that request? User is asking, where is this www.xyz.com? So a request came to DNS. DNS is checking its database. User gave the name XYZ. DNS server has to give the IP address. Name to IP conversion. This name to IP conversion details you can find out in forward lookup. But by default, xyz.com is not there. So as an IT administrator, you should learn how to create a zone for your website. Zone is nothing but database. The database contains your web server details. So in the DNS server, I am maintaining my web server details. So new zone. There are different types of zones. So today our first topic is related to primary zone. So I don't want to use this option, only primary zone. Click next. Zone name, my website name xyz.com. Extension should be there, .com, .net, .in, whatever it is. Click next. So with this name, a file will be created in the C drive, which you can use it as a backup. So if I go to C drive Windows of the DNS server, there is a folder called as system32, DNS folder. So here I can find out some files, you can say Google, Yahoo, like this. A file will be created with this name XYZ. Okay, I can use that file like a backup. So I leave the options default, finish. So I created a zone database for my website. Now employee will browse the website. Request will come to DNS. So name to IP conversion. So DNS server has to give the IP address. It will check its database, forward lookup zone, xyz.com. But inside this xyz.com, the web server details are not there. Zone is there, but zone don't know where is this website is configured. So as an IT administrator now, keep your web server details in this zone. How? Let us see. So I'll right click on this xyz.com, new host. Which computer is having this website? Let's say for example, my system 1. One of the computer is having this website. That computer name is system 1. And what is the IP address of this computer? 10.0.0.1. Example. So I'll click add host. For time being, I am giving the same computer IP address. In the real time environment, web server, DNS server IP address will be different. System 1. Now how users are browsing website? Are they browsing system1.yahoo.com, system1.facebook.com? No, www.yahoo.com, www.facebook.com. So for this system 1, we will give a nickname. So I'll right click on this XYZ, new alias. A nickname to this computer system 1. Nickname is www, pointing to xyz.com system 1. That's it, done. Successfully you created a database for your website. That means the web server information you created in the DNS. If you really host a website, if you browse this website xyz.com, request will be coming to your DNS server. What is that request? User is asking, where is this web server xyz.com? DNS will check its database xyz.com. Now, where is this xyz.com? System 1. What is the IP address? 10.1. This IP address will be given to the user. User will contact this IP address, he will get the web page. That is how DNS queries will be working. Now, let us say for example, now we created, so this is what we have done. So, we assumed we have a web server. This is web server. So, this system IP address is 10.1, system name is 1. So, these are my clients. They are browsing that website www.xyz.com. So, this is where we hosted that website xyz.com. Now, using name you cannot contact the server, you need IP. But who is going to tell the IP address between the web server and the local machines? We will have a server called as DNS. So, in all the user computers, preferred DNS will be 10.0.0.1, sorry 10.0.0.2, 2 is nothing but your DNS server IP address. So, when you browse, anyone browses the website in the office, request will come to this server. So, this server will give a IP address. But in order to give the IP address, first this server should know web server details. So, what we have done, we created a primary zone. Just now we have done that. Zone name, we gave our website name. Inside that we created records. Which server, which IP address. After you create these records, DNS server can tell now where is our website. Successfully we created this. Practically we have configured a DNS zone for our website. Okay, that is how you can work on this DNS service. Okay, now let's verify. So, how we can verify it? So, zone is created. If you really host a website, you will get the website. So, in the next sessions, I will show you how to host a website. So, there we will see practically verification of this website, how to browse a website, how to host it. For time being, so for DNS query, what is our verification is, we will go to command prompt. We will try to ping the website zone which I created, www.xyz.com. So, once I hit enter, you can see successfully name has been converted to IP address. Using name, you are able to communicate with a computer. That is how DNS queries will be working. Now, we will create backup DNS. Now, backup DNS means, so if you check this slide here, so DNS server is there. Users are browsing. Request will go to DNS server. DNS server will give the IP address of the web server. Let us say this DNS server is down because sometimes hardware failures will happen, maybe power failures will happen, something disaster happen, server will be down. If DNS server is down, no naming resolution. There is no one to convert name to IP, IP to name. If no naming resolution, can you get the IP address of the web server? Not possible. So, if you are not able to find the IP address of the web server, if you are not able to get the IP of the web server, you can't access the website. Now, this is where secondary DNS comes into the picture. Secondary DNS means, for example, if you check the slide once, I will configure another DNS server. So, in the slide if you see one more DNS server. Okay, this is our DNS server 2. Okay, second DNS server. So, the IP address of this server is 10.0.0.3. In the client side, alternate DNS will be 10.0.0.3. Preferred DNS is 2, alternate DNS is 3. Now, something happened to 2. The second server is down. maybe it can be hardware failure, power failure, something happened, system to system DNS server 1 is suddenly down. So, if DNS server 1 is down, you do not need to worry, because you have another DNS server. But here also DNS server 2 also should have the same details here. So, what we will do, we will create a secondary zone. Secondary zone means it is a backup to primary. This is primary, right? For this primary, this is the backup. So, what is backup? Backup also will have same information, same zone, same records, everything is same. So, what is the benefit? So, fault tolerance, load balancing. Fault tolerance means suddenly system 1 is down, you do not need to worry, still naming resolution is possible with the help of system 2. Okay. Maybe let us say for example, so system 1 is down in this example, request will go to which computer? 3. 3 will, you will contact the 3, you will get the IP address, you will browse the website. But how to configure this? Let us see. So, let us go back to our server operating system and we will see how to configure secondary zones also. So, for this we need 2 machines. 2 machines with, in both machines DNS service should be there. So, I already have 2 machines where DNS service is already configured. So, already we have primary zones in system 1. Okay, already we have a primary zone in system 1. For this we will create a secondary zone. So, we will go back to system 2. Okay, I just logged into second computer, system 2. So, in this computer system 2 also we have DNS service configured. I am opening DNS service in system 2. But xyz.com is not there. So, I am creating a new zone. But what type of zone I want to create? Secondary zone. So, I will select the second option, secondary. If you read, secondary is a copy, a backup which is used for fault tolerance and load balancing. So, I will click next. Zone name, it has to be exactly the primary name. So, xyz.com. Master DNS server, original one. Original is 10.1, system 1. Finish. But if I open, you do not see anything inside. But zones should have records. This is secondary. Secondary will not have records by default. Even you cannot create, secondary is a read only copy. This one, it is a read only. So, what I have to do? I have to go to first server, the primary. I came to first one. Properties of the first one. Zone transfers. Transfer to the following server. Secondary server IP address I have to enter. Secondary server IP address is 2. Any changes should be notified to my secondary server. Click OK. Now, verification, let us go back to system 2. This is system 2, secondary DNS server, second server. So, if I open, I should be getting the records here. You can see records are there. Same records. Whatever primary is having, secondary also will have the same records. So, that is how you can configure a secondary zone, a backup. Now, what is the benefit? Even though primary is down, the primary server is down, no need to worry. Still naming resolution is possible with the help of the secondary server. That is how you can configure high availability of DNS services. Now, we will see one of the most important thing for a Windows administrator, Windows IT administrator, which is called as Active Directory Integrated Zone. Okay, let us check this slide once. What is this Active Directory Integrated Zone? So, Active Directory Integrated Zone. Every company will have a domain controller. where Active Directory is installed. By default, in this domain controller, DNS service also will be there. DNS service by default. Now, automatically in this DNS service, a zone will be created with the domain name, which is called as Active Directory zone. Okay. So, which will have 6 service records. Service records will help the clients to locate domain controller. Now, where is the server? How clients will contact? That is with the help of this DNS. Okay. Now, for example, here, so for example, if you check the slide once, so a user want to log in. This is a Windows 10 client. A user want to log in. So he has to contact the DC. Now, who is going to tell this user where is your DC? DNS. Because for example, so this is the IP address, DNS IP of the server. In the client side, IP address is to preferred DNS is 1. Why we are giving this 1? Because 1 is your DNS server. When user want to log in, request will first come to DNS. DNS will check the database, service records. Service records will tell where is the DC. So using this information, you are able to contact the server. Now, let me show you how you can troubleshoot the service records. For example, in this server operating system, now this is my domain controller. If I type net accounts, okay, this is my primary server, DC. Okay, you can see this is primary DC. In the DC with your domain name, so right now you can see this zoom.com, it is my domain name. Automatically it will be created when you configure a DC. This is Active Directory integrated zone. If I open this, you will find out 6 folders. These 6 folders are called as service records. If any one of this folder is missing, users cannot log in. So in the IT sector, there are so many reasons why users not able to log in. But one of the reason will be the DNS. How to troubleshoot? Let us see. It is a simple topic. So let us see. So let's go back to this server operating system right now. So maybe I'll delete one of the record here. Accidentally we lost it. Maybe OS updates happen, server rebooted. At the time of reboot, maybe these records are not created properly. How to get back them? Let us see. I'll go to start. I'll type services. I'll start a new. I'll restart a service called as netlogon. Restart. I'll restart another service called as DNS service. So DNS server, restart. After I restart this netlogon DNS, if I refresh, I'll get back the missing 2 records back. You can see. That's how you can troubleshoot. So any problem happen in the Active Directory, you have to check this DNS Active Directory zone. Okay. So you have to make sure all the 6 service records are available. If they are available, so you can fix your problems easily. So that's how. So DNS Active Directory zone can be troubleshooted. So this is about your DNS, how to create primary zones, secondary zones, and how to configure Active Directory integrated zones. I hope the session is very informative to you. So this is DNS part 2. So this is Vinay Kumar signing off. Thank you everyone.
Welcome to today's session. So we are covering the communication skill sessions for ESC program, the employability skill centers across Andhra Pradesh, and this is organized and brought to you by AP State Skill Development Corporation. Till last week you went through the aptitude and cognitive skills, where another trainer by name Satish, he took you through a very comprehensive session on all the aspects of aptitude. And I'm going to take care of communication aspects. where the idea is to give you a holistic skilling. So in the last session, we spoke about what communication is, and I spoke about the communication tree, how it's very different from what you have learned in school. Then I spoke about the essentials of effective communication, and these are the essentials of effective communication, 6 of them: assertiveness, authenticity, open-mindedness, empathy, clarity, and listening skills. I spoke in detail what each of these points mean, gave you certain examples. Now I'm going to take it forward today. Now, communication type. We often hear different types of communication. So when 2 or more than 1 person or 2 people are speaking face to face, that is called a verbal communication. Now, the common myth that we have is only a face to face communication is verbal, or it's actually called an oral communication. Anything that is written is actually deemed differently. The mistakes that people do is, if some communication is done orally, they call it a verbal communication. For example, they say that, for example, if I'm talking about some kind of memos or some kind of information, say for example you're studying in a college and somebody came and announced it in the classroom that tomorrow there is a holiday, and there is no written memo, there is nothing on the notice board. So people usually say, we were informed verbally, there is no written communication. Now that is wrong. A written communication is also a verbal communication. Verb means action. So anything that's in terms of oral communication where 2 people are speaking, or when there is a communication in terms of a speech, that is oral communication. When there is a communication in terms of written item or anything that is written, it could be a memo, a text message, an email, or handwritten note, or a PowerPoint presentation. Anything that is written and printed is also a verbal communication. So that's again a myth. So I want to break that. Even a written communication is called verbal communication. Then another type of communication is non-verbal. Now what do we mean by non-verbal communication? Now these are gestures, expressions, body language. Now body language is a separate area which needs a lot of expertise, which needs a lot of improvement, both in terms of the person who is displaying these gestures, expressions and body language, or the other person who is the audience. Now your body language is also an extension of your character in terms of your nature. The way we use our hands, the way we use our expressions speaks a lot about what you are thinking and what you're trying to say. I may be saying something, but I may not mean it, but what I mean can be understood with my body language. When we go for interviews, when we go for any kind of presentation, any kind of conference, seminars, when we are speaking to one person or many people, we still judge that person not just by the way the person is speaking, but a lot is derived in terms of body language. Now the body language is a completely different ball game. You need to understand, you need to learn, and you need to be an expert in terms of displaying the right information, in terms of using the right body language. So there will be a separate session on body language only. So we'll talk in detail about that later. So please remember, communication type is of 2 types. The first one is verbal communication, where we talk about oral communication as well as written communication. So written and oral both are verbal communication. Non-verbal communication is gestures, expressions, body language. So to put it in a simple way, when you're not speaking a word, when you're not writing a word, you are just using gestures. There is no sound, there is no letters written or read. That is non-verbal. And verbal is when you hear or when you see or when you are reading something, that is verbal communication. Okay. Now I'm going to talk specifically on oral communication, because a lot of us, when we talk about communication aspect as such, there are two things which you need to remember or to understand clearly in terms of what is considered as what we call this person is good, that person is not good, when we judge someone in terms of communication. So on an average, every person, especially the student fraternity, since you are from a vernacular background in terms of your education or academics, you're considered as a person who needs a lot of improvement in terms of communication. And we always say that improve your communication, otherwise you will not get a job. Now that's not completely right. I want to tell you that when we talk about communication expertise or your level of communication, there are two things which you need to take into consideration. Let me quickly display what do I mean by that. Okay. The first aspect is articulation. The second aspect is comprehension. Okay, let me align it correctly so that it's clearly visible. Okay, so there are two aspects, articulation and comprehension. Now what do I mean by articulation? Ability to express ideas in a language. All right, that is what articulation is all about. Let me change the color so that you can make a note of it. That is what it means. Ability to express ideas in a language. Comprehension, what do we mean by comprehension? Comprehension means ability to understand in a language. Now the issue that most of us face today, now that I'm speaking to you, you are able to completely understand what I'm saying, right? So comprehension is something, this is not an issue. So let me mark it as green. So comprehension is something which is not an issue because you are able to understand what I'm saying. It may not be completely, but to an extent you are able to understand. But when I ask you to speak, you find it difficult to express yourself in a language. Now when I say in a language, that means a language which is different from your vernacular language. Now almost everybody who is watching this program in Andhra Pradesh, your vernacular language is Telugu, right? Now I am not good at Telugu. I cannot understand very clearly, but to an extent I can understand, but I can't speak very well. I cannot use the right words, I can't use the right grammar, and of course the pronunciation, which means my articulation is not as good as my comprehension. The same thing applies to all of you. When it comes to English language, your comprehension is better than your articulation, which means you are not able to express yourself only in English, but if I say that you can speak in Telugu, you are very quick to respond any kind of question. You are confident, you are not nervous, you have a lot of information which you can express yourself through. But when it comes to comprehension, understanding, you find it easier. But when it comes to speaking, you find it difficult. So two aspects, articulation and comprehension. Now in order to resolve this issue, you need to go through a little bit about oral communication itself. Now when we talk about oral communication, there are four fundamental cornerstones or pillars that you need to understand and you need to master yourself in. So like any other language, in English language, when we speak specifically about oral communication, it's not written communication. I'm here talking about oral communication only. There are four fundamental pillars. What are these pillars? The first one is pronunciation. Make a note of these. The second one is grammar. The third one is vocabulary. And the fourth one is fluency. So it's PGVF: pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary, and fluency. These are the 4 fundamental pillars of oral communication. And we're going to talk about each one of them in detail, because my intention is to make you better in terms of your oral communication. All right, let's begin. So what do we mean by pronunciation? In order to do that, we need to understand the fundamentals of it. In order to understand the fundamentals, you need to understand the entire structure of a language. So if I look at a language as a tree, which is called a communication tree. Now this tree, if I have to segregate or if I have to break it down, first and foremost, in order to communicate, I need something called a language. Okay, let me align it correctly so that you can see it clearly. Okay, so you have communication tree for oral communication. First thing that you need is a language, any language for that matter, but here we are talking specific to English language. Now this language or any language can be broken into sentences. So in a language you basically speak sentences. The sentence is broken into words. Now words will be broken into letters. That is what everybody talks about. We break the language into sentence, the sentence into words, and the words into letters. But this is where you go wrong. We are talking about oral communication. When I say oral communication, I'm speaking and you are hearing or listening, which means the words are not broken into letters, they are broken into sounds. Now when we speak about pronunciation, we should speak about the sounds, not the letters. So what do we mean by pronunciation with that example? Pronunciation refers to the way in which we make the sound of words. It also means creating correct sounds using the muscles of our mouth, tongue and lips, etc. There are other important aspects of pronunciation, which is word stress, sentence stress, linking, intonation. Now what do we mean by these? Word stress, for example, emphasis on certain syllables in a word. Let me show you an example. I am going over to the next slide so that I can give you an example of word stress. Now what did word stress mean? It says emphasis on certain syllables in a word. Say for example, I have the word which is also my hobby, photography. Okay, if I have to break this into syllables, how many syllables do I have? 4, 2, gra, phi, which means I have 4 syllables. Okay, now I'm going to use another word which is related to the first word. Which is photograph. And how many syllables do I have here? Photograph. Now pay attention. When I pronounce this particular word, photograph, the correct pronunciation is photograph, which means I am stressing on this particular syllable, which is the first syllable. Please give me the photograph. Now when you speak to someone, stop using the word pic. Please send me a pic. Now pic means P-I-C-K. It's a short form of picture, but please don't use that word. It sounds pretty bad and it's very casual and informal. So use the word photograph or picture. So in this case, this particular word has 3 syllables and I pronounce this as photograph, which means I'm stressing on the first syllable. But when I look at this particular word, I pronounce this as photography. How do I pronounce photography? And how many syllables do I have here? Photography. 4 syllables. But in this case, I stress on the second syllable. That is what word stress is all about. So when we talk about pronunciation, not only the pronunciation of each syllable or the entire word, but also the word stress come into the picture. So here I pronounce this as photograph. Here I pronounce this as photography. Clear? What's the next one? Sentence stress. Now in word stress, I was emphasizing on a particular syllable in a word. In sentence stress, I emphasize on a certain word in a sentence, which means the entire word itself is stressed upon. So let me show you an example. So sentence stress, I'm going to write a sentence. Okay, so let me change the color so that you know that this is an example for you. The sentence is, you cannot get an admission in the university unless you score a minimum of 90% in your entrance test. Now, which word do you think should get the stress? Because here I'm notifying someone orally. You cannot get an admission in the university unless you score a minimum of 90% in your entrance test. So unless is the word which should take the stress. So that's a sentence stress. Let me give an example where the stress will change to denote what exactly I'm trying to communicate. You have to pay a penalty of 5,000 to get the certificate. Now here I'm going to stress on have. You have to pay a penalty of 5,000 rupees to get the certificate. Now I want to write the same sentence, but I'll show you if I add another word how the meaning will change or what I'm trying to say will change. All right, here we go. The first sentence, you have to pay a penalty of 5,000 rupees to get the certificate. Second sentence, you have to pay a penalty of 5,000 rupees only through a demand draft to get the certificate. Now, the word only is taking the stress because I'm emphasizing there is no other way you can pay the penalty to get the certificate. It's accepted only through a demand draft. But the first one, all I'm saying is you have to pay a penalty. So that's exactly what a sentence stress is. When you're speaking to someone, please remember I'm speaking or I'm talking about specifically about oral communication. So when you're communicating with someone, it could be over the phone, it could be face to face. This sentence stress takes more importance when you cannot see the person. If you're speaking to the person over the phone, you're giving an information. When you emphasize on a particular word in a sentence, they get the message more clearly. Now, if I'm speaking to face, I can use a gesture. I can say you have to pay a penalty. So I use this word, you have to. So the have and the hand coming down, it's coordinated subconsciously. So it's really underlined for you in your mind. You have to pay a penalty to get the certificate. And if I'm talking about the second sentence, I say you have to pay a penalty of 5,000 rupees only through a demand draft. So now this gesture has shifted from have to only. So when I'm speaking face to face, it's easier to understand because other person can see me. But when I'm speaking to the person on the phone, they can't see this gesture, right? Now this gesture is coming very naturally to me. Even when you're speaking on the phone, we use our hands. We don't sit like a robot and speak. But the other person cannot see. So that's where your intonation comes into the picture. The fourth point which you see on the particular slide is intonation. Now what do we mean by intonation? Intonation is the rise and fall of our voice as we speak. Now this rise and fall is very important, but before that the point is there as linking, joining certain words together. So let me explain what do we mean by linking, and then I will explain in detail what do we mean by intonation. Alright? So let me take the same slide. I want to quickly show you the example of linking here. Please give me 2 eggs. Now when I pronounce this, I can combine. Now in order to understand what do I mean by this, you need to get a little knowledge on let me quickly explain what do I mean by this. You need to get a quick knowledge on vowel sounds. So when I say 2, I am using the sound oo. When I am saying eggs, I am using the sound a. So 2 egg. So this is this word is ending with a vowel sound. This word is starting with a vowel sound. So when you have 2 words next to each other, one ending with vowel sound, another one starting with a vowel sound, you can combine or link these 2 sounds together. Okay? For example, if I have the word two eggs, I can just use this particular sound. What do I mean by this? For example, 2 eggs. So I'm using way sound in between these 2 eggs. So when I talk about linking in detail, you will understand what do I mean by this. I know it's a little confusing. Let me move over to intonation. Now intonation, as it reads here, it says the rise and fall of a voice as we speak. Now there is correct intonation, there is incorrect intonation. Let me quickly explain what do I mean by that. if I'm asking a question, for example, are you going to the market? Are you going to the market? So when I say, are you going to the market, there is a rising tone. Now, what do I mean by rising tone? Let me quickly display. This particular word I'm just trying to make it easier for you. Let me change the color so that you can see it clearly. So this particular word, the last word in the question, are you going to the market? Are you going to the market? Now, are you going to the is flat. Are you going to the market? This is going up because the last word denotes like it's a question. Now, when you're speaking, a lot of people ask a question, but it sounds like a statement. So when you are speaking, your statement has to be flat, and when it's a question, the last word has to be a rising tone. For example, if I say, I'm going to the market. So here, let me add the line for you so that you can understand what do I mean by this. I'm going to the market. Now, this is a statement and it's a flat intonation. But when I say, are you going to the market? Then it's a rising tone. Now, mistakes that a lot of people do in terms of intonation is specific to making a mistake in terms of rising and dropping tones, where you can get confused, is it a question or a statement? For example, if I ask a question, now when the answer comes like a question. For example, if it's a quiz program and I ask who was the first say Vice President of India, how many of you know who was the first Vice President of India? You have to know this answer, very, very important. If you are a student, you definitely need to know who was the first Vice President of India. And it's his birthday tomorrow, and we celebrate that as the Teacher's Day, right? Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. He was the first Vice President of India. So when I ask a question, who was the first Vice President of India? The answer is S. Radhakrishnan. Some people say S. Radhakrishnan. Now, it goes on a rising tone. Now, it doesn't come as an answer. It comes as a guess, or it comes as a question. Am I right? Is this S. Radhakrishnan? So, when you are ending or when you are responding with a rising tone, it doesn't sound like a statement. It sounds more like a statement. Okay? That's why this intonation in terms of oral communication is very important. Now, there is no intonation when it comes to written communication because you're not speaking. You're just reading, right? So their punctuation makes a difference. But when you're speaking, your intonation is of the primary importance. Another example which I want to give you, which is pretty important. When you are giving an information in terms of numbers, for example, can you please give me your phone number? And the answer is, my number is 98854-74156. This is my phone number. Now, this is an example. It's actually not my phone number. Don't call this number. Okay? Now, some people just give this information as 98854-74156. Now, you need to allow the other person to make a note of it. Now, in India, this number can be given in parts of 5 plus 5. For example, my number is 98854-74156. So my number is 98854 74156. Now this is also difficult to make a note of. You won't remember. So the best way to do is to break it into 3 and 3. How do I do that? My number is 988 547 4156. Okay? This is a better way to give the number because it's easier to understand and keep a track of. So instead of breaking 5 plus 5, I've broken into 3 plus 3 plus 4. My number is 988 547 4156. Now this is also a part of intonation. For example, if I'm giving a bank account number, okay, I'm just typing random numbers. When you have such a long string of information, the better way to give that number is in terms of pairs, in terms of twos. My bank account number is 4574582862452314632632. Now don't again break it into 6, 3 and 2. You can just combine the last 3 if you have an odd number there. So this is also an important element in terms of intonation. When you're giving the information, you break it down so that your listeners can understand it clearly. Now one point to be noted here. When I'm giving this series, now let me reduce this, let's keep it this way. When I'm giving this series, the first method or the first intonation I'm using is, let me reduce this so that I can have a smaller example. And so I'm giving this information. The number is 624523146332. Now pay attention. How did I say 632? Let's repeat again. 624523146332. For every 2 digit, the second digit, my tone is going up. Pay attention. 624523146332. The moment I drop my tone, that means it's the end of the series. This is a very important aspect of intonation. Now imagine if I'm not dropping this tone, it will sound like as if it's going to continue. 624523146332. Now 2, the moment I say 2 on a rising tone, it means I'm expecting, or my audience is expecting one more number. But the way I say 14632, the moment I say 2, it's dropping. That means it's end of the series. Another mistake that people do is they drop it way too low and you can't hear. And they say 624523146332. Now the 2 is so low, they always ask, I'm sorry, what is the last number again? That's why it's important the last unit of your string should be louder, but a drop tone. So it will be 624523146332. My volume went up, but my tone, my intonation is flat. Now these are the finer aspects of a very good oral communication. No matter if you're speaking to the person face to face or over the phone, they can understand you very clearly. And in order to be heard or in order to be comprehended very clearly, your pronunciation has to be absolutely perfect. So as a part of the first pillar of communication, I'm going to speak in detail about the pronunciation aspects for English language. Okay? Thank you for tuning in today. Please post your questions, whatever doubts you have in terms of pronunciation. If you're watching this on YouTube, please post your questions on the comment section. If you're watching it on Mana TV, please go back to Mana TV, the channel on YouTube Amravati channel. So please post your questions. I will take a look at it and I will provide you with the answer. So we'll continue with the same session tomorrow, where I'll focus on pronunciation. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Welcome to the viewers. This is Suryanarayan Raju. Before going to start a C language program, now you have to know about some basics C language programming. Actually, C is a programming language. What is mean by program? What is mean by language? What is mean by software? The basics to be understand before going to start the C programming language. Now in the market, everywhere programming languages are there. C language, C++, Java, .NET, COBOL, Pascal. Now before going to start a C programming language, you have to know basics about software. What is mean by software? A set of programs called as software. What is mean by program? Program is nothing but set of instructions or a set of statements is called as program. Now see, now in the market two types of softwares are there: system softwares, application softwares. What is mean by system software? Which software understandable by the machine instructions, that software called as system software. What is mean by application software? Which software understandable by the user instructions, that software is called as application software. Now for the system software, operating systems. Now in the market many operating systems are there: DOS, Windows, Unix, Linux, Mac. These are called as system softwares. What is meant by application software? Which software understandable by the user instructions, that software is called as application software. Now in the market different types of application softwares. Like in the daily life you are using different type of applications like Google, Gmail, Facebook. Desktop applications also there like Notepad, MS Word, Paintbrush Picture. Now these all softwares are developed based on programming languages. These all softwares are developed based on programming languages. C is a programming language. Generally what is meant by language? Language is nothing but it's a communication. Communication between the people is called as language. But in the programming, language is nothing but communication between user and the machine instructions. The system does not understand the user language. System followed by binary instructions. If you want to communicate the binary instructions, you require some language. That language is called as programming language. What is the definition of programming language? It is one of the language to communicate machine language and user language. Now here different type of programming languages are there like C, C++, Java, .NET, COBOL, Pascal. Totally in the market 125 plus programming languages you have. But these all languages, which is the basic programming language, C is a basic programming language. C is a basic program to be understand. Now see, before going to start C language, I have to define some definitions You see the definitions now. What is mean by software? What is the meaning of software now? It is a collection of programs. Software is nothing but it's a collection of programs. What are the software types you have? Software types. What are the types of softwares you have? First category of software, system software. What is meant by system software? Which is software understandable by the machine instructions. The machine does not understand your language, that's why it is called as system software. Which is software understandable by the machine instructions? That software is called as system software. Now you see which are the system softwares are there. Now in the market, which are the system software? Example, you have operating system. Operating system is one of the system software. Suppose if you want to install any softwares, which is the basic software to be installed? OS to be installed. If you purchase any laptop or if you purchase any desktop, which is the basic software to download first? Operating system. Operating system is a which category of software? System software. Now which are the types of operating systems in the market? MS-DOS, Microsoft Disk Operating System, MS Windows. Windows is also operating system from the Microsoft. Unix operating system. And what is one more type of operating system? Linux, Mac. Many operating systems are there in the market. DOS, Windows, Unix, Linux, Mac. But mostly number of programmers or number of users mostly used which operating system? Windows operating system. Mostly used Windows. Now the Windows operating system developed by which company? Microsoft. What is one more category of software you have? Application software. One more category of software called as application software. Which is software understandable? Which is software understandable by the user instructions? By the user instructions. That software is called as application software. That software is called as application software. What is the meaning of application softwares? Which are understandable by the user instructions, like English language, our understandable. Daily life, you are using different type of applications. Like if I open any machine, either laptop or desktop, you are opening with different type of apps. Notepad. Notepad is a which type of application? Desktop application. What is meant by desktop application? Which application can be run only on single machine? That application called as desktop application or standalone application. Which application can be executable only single machine? That application called as standalone or desktop application. Like if you are using with the Paint, that is also which category of application? Desktop application. MS Word, MS Excel. If you are using with the Gmail, Gmail is a which type of application? Web application. It is web app, web application. Every web application executed with multiple machines. If you want to open the Gmail application, compulsory which is required? Browser required. Through the browser only to open the application, that application called as web applications. Like which are the browsers are there? Google Chrome, Mozilla, Internet Explorer. If you want to open any web application, through browser only to open that application. Gmail, Facebook. What is one more category of application you have? Mobile based application. Mobile apps also use. Mobile applications like WhatsApp, WhatsApp is also one application through the mobiles, smartphones or tabs to be run. Finally, what is my conclusion? In the market, all softwares are developed different type of programming languages. All types of softwares developed based on different type of programming languages. In that programming languages, C is the basic programming language. Now see, what is mean by system software? Actually I discussed it's a machine understandable softwares. System softwares developed based on which programming language? System softwares are developed basically C, C++ programming languages. C, C++ programming languages, system softwares are developed. If you want to develop with application softwares, which are the programming languages in the market now, application softwares how to develop based on which programming languages? .NET or Java. Java is a programming language. .NET also programming language. Finally, what is my conclusion now? Every system softwares are developed based on C language or C++. Every application softwares are developed based on advanced programming language. Now in the market, which are the advanced programming languages? Java programming language, .NET programming language. But actually, if you want to learn the Java programming language or if you want to learn the .NET programming language, must and should, which is the basic programming to be learned? C language. C is a basic language for all programming languages in the market. Now listen, before going to start the C programming language, now in the market, which are the programming languages available before C language? Before C programming language, which are the different type of programming languages available in the market? Now that you have to discuss now, generations of programming languages. Generations of programming languages you have. You see that already what is meant by program? Program is nothing but a set of instructions or a set of statements is called as program. What is meant by language? It's a communication between the user and the machine with the help of programming languages. Now before C language, I want to discuss some generations of programmings are there. Now what is the first type of generation of programming language you have? Machine programming or machine level program. Under generation of programming languages, which is the first generation programming language? Machine language. What is meant by machine language? Which language complete program you have to write into machine codes? What is the meaning of machine language? The program completely you have to write into binary instructions. What are the binary instructions? Zeros and ones. If I want to work with machine language, compulsory which to be understand? Binary numbers. What is meant by machine level programming languages? These programming languages, these programming to write machine codes, completely machine codes like 0, 1. Now this programming language is completely machine understandable language. It is not a user understand, it's completely machine understandable language. It's completely machine understandable language, not for user understandable. And what is one more type of programming language you have? One more generation of programming you have? Mid-level programming language. What is meant by mid-level programming language? Now in this programming language, you can write the machine codes plus English language also. Machine plus English. Now this is also called as assembly language programming. It's called as assembly language programming. Like see, if you go for machine language program, if you work with machine language program, I want to add the two numbers 10 plus 5. I want to add the two numbers 10 plus 5. Actually 10 is our understandable number, 5 is our understandable number. But when you go for machine language, the 10 first to convert to the binary, then only you can run the program, you can write the program. What is the 10 binary number? 1010. After that 5 also binary number you have to write, 5 also binary number 101. That means what? If I want to work with machine language, compulsory your instruction should be maintained to the ones and zeros. If you know the ones and zeros, then only you can run, otherwise you can't run off these. It's very difficult to understand, it's completely machine understand. There is no English here. What is meant by mid-level? It's a assembly language. What is meant by assembly language? It's a mixed code of assembly language called as mixed code of machine language plus machine also there plus English. 50% machine code, 50% English code, the both can be right. This is called as assembly language. Compared to machine level, which level is understandable? Mid level, some more understand. Now this language called as assembly language, it is also machine understandable. It is not complete user understand, it is not complete machine understand. It's a 50-50, 50% machine, 50% user. When you go for mid-level language, assembly language, if I want to add the 10 plus 5, if I want to add the 10 plus 5, add is a mnemonic word, you have, it's a English. After that 1010, it's a binary number, 101, it's a binary number. What is the meaning of that? Add is English, 1010101, it's a binary. The mixed code of instructions will be typed with the help of mid-level or assembly language. What is the third generation of programming language you have? High-level programming, high level. What is meant by machine level? Completely low level, it's completely low level. What is meant by middle level? It's 50% machine, 50% user. What is meant by high level language? Is completely user understandable language. Which language is completely user understandable language? High level language. Now this language to write the code in English language. Directly you can write the code English language. Now it's a completely high level language. Which are the high level language? High level languages in the market. Currently you are learning C language. C is a high level language. C++ also high level language. Java also high level language. .NET also high level programming. Now in the market 125 plus programming languages are there. It's a high level languages. 125 plus programming languages. These all are high level languages. Finally, what is my conclusion? C is a high level programming language. Which are the generations of programming you have? First one is machine level, it's called as low level program. Second one is mid level, it's called as assembly language program. Third level or third generation called as high level program. The complete program you have to write into English. Now this is completely user understandable. This language completely user understandable. User followed that. This language understandable by the user code. Understandable by user code. By the user code that you can understand. Now see, these all generations of programming languages, which language to use the compilers? High level language. Under high level language you have to use one translator, it's called as compiler to be used. Compiler. What is meant by compiler? It's one of the translator. You can convert your program code into machine language again that is converted into our understandable language. What is the definition of compiler? You write the program in English, but that is converted to the machine language, again that is converted to the our understandable language. This work done by which processor? Compiler. Compiler can be done. These compilers are introduced only high level language. High level languages only introduced to the compiler. Now see which is mean by translator. Which is mean by translator? You have translator. Compiler is used to convert your complete program into machine language at once, but translator is nothing but you can convert to the machine language line by line or step by step. Line by line or step by step you want to use. Now you see what is the type of translators you have. You have the compiler also one type of translator, and interpreter also one type of translator. Compiler also one type of translator, interpreter also one type of translator. What is the difference of compiler and interpreter? Compiler, all lines of code at a time convert to the machine language. It's a program wise. But interpreter, it is converted to the machine language step by step. It is completely step by step convert to the machine language, but this is complete all lines at a time convert to the machine language. But anyway, both are called as what? Translators. You want to convert source code into machine code, again that is translated to our target code. This is the work of translators. Now in the market, which are the compiler based languages? C, C++, and COBOL, Pascal. These are the compiler based languages. Many languages you have compiler based. Which are the interpreter based languages? HTML, hypertext markup language, CSS, cascade style sheet, and JavaScript. JavaScript also interpreter based language. Now in the market, some languages are compiler based, some languages are interpreter based. Which are the compiler based languages? C language, C++, COBOL, Pascal, Ada. Which are the interpreter based languages? HTML, CSS, JavaScript. These are the interpreter based languages. Now you see, whenever you are working with a C programming language, you have to idea about some basic definitions, like what is mean by program. Before going to start the C program, what is mean by program? A set of instructions, a set of instructions is called as program. What type of instructions you can run? Input instructions, output instructions. Every program consists with a set of instructions, input instructions, output instructions. What is meant by input instructions? Which instructions are inputting through the input device like keyboard? What is meant by output instruction? After processing, you are inputting some value, after processing you are expected some output, that is called as output instruction. Which is the output instruction to be run? Output device. Input instructions are inputting through the keyboard, output instructions are receiving through the monitor, that is called as output device. Now see, every program set of instructions can be maintained. What is meant by software? Software called as set of programs. See that, what is meant by software? Set of programs called as software, set of programs, that is called as software. Program is nothing but set of instructions. Now finally, in C language, what to be developed? Programs. In the C language to be developed the programs. Now for the program consists with input instructions and output instructions. But listen, generally if you are learning the C programming language, whenever you write the C programming language, what type of softwares can be developed? Which type of softwares can be developed? System software can be developed. What is the meaning of that? Which softwares are understandable by machine? That softwares are system softwares. That means using C language program, which type of softwares can be developed? System softwares can be developed. Which are the system softwares? Example, check it. DOS, Unix, Windows, Linux, Mac. Now in the market, Unix operating system originally developed based on the C language. Unix operating system actually developed C programming code. And now in the market, some applications also there, database applications like Oracle. Oracle also developed based on the C programming code. And one more is driver programs also developed based on the C programming code. Finally, what is my conclusion now? Using C language, what type of software can be developed? System software. What are the example of that? Operating systems can be developed. Now you see, using C language, which operating system is developed? Unix operating system is developed. Unix software developed based on the C language. Using C language code only, Unix software developed. Now see, before going to start for the C language, what is the history about the C language? History about C programming language. Actually, C is a programming. Before C programming, what are the programming languages available? Before C, history of programming languages. Now in the 1960s, one program is introduced. In 1960s, one programming is introduced. Which programming is introduced? BCPL. BCPL programming is introduced. What is meant by BCPL? Basic Combined Programming Language. In 1960s, BCPL programming language is introduced. Who is the author of BCPL program? Martin Richards. Martin Richards, he is one of the American. Martin Richards started the BCPL programming language. It is also high level. Martin Richards started the basic combined programming language, where it is developed in at AT&T company will be there. AT&T company, that is nothing but American Telegraph and Telecommunications, AT&T company. Then you see AT&T company, you have AT&T company, American Telegraph Telecommunications. At that AT&T company, Bell Laboratory is there in US. In US, Bell Laboratory, AT&T company, which is developed BCPL programming language developed. This programming developed by Martin Richards. He is the author of the BCPL language. And see that after 1960, one more language is also came in the market. One more language is also came in the market. That is on 1966. 1966, one more programming language is started. That programming is called as 1966 B programming. B language programming started. B language. Before that B language, which language is very famous language? BCPL, Basic Combined Programming Language. But that name is changed by B language. Some features are added. Some features are added to the BCPL, to the B language. Who is the author of that B language? Ken Thompson. Ken Thompson started the B programming language. Where it is started, again same, AT&T company, American Telegraph Telecommunications, AT&T company, and Bell Laboratory, AT&T company, Bell Laboratory. In US only started the B programming language. Now coming to the C language history, actually C language started in 1972, which is the year of C programming language introduced here. What is the name? 1972 started the C programming language. 1972, who is the author of C programming language? Dennis Rich. He is one of the American. Dennis Rich. Dennis Rich started the C programming language in 1972. Where it is started? Again same, AT&T company, Bell Laboratories, C programming language is introduced. 1972, Dennis Rich, AT&T company, Bell Laboratory, C language program is introduced. C language program. Finally, what is my conclusion? C language before, which is the very famous language? BCPL language. C language before BCPL language is very famous. After BCPL, which languages came in the market now? B languages came in the market. After that B language, which languages came in the market? C language. Advanced of C, one more language is coming in the market after C. C++ programming language. After C, C++. After C++, which is the advanced programming of nowadays? Java programming language. Now these are the various different type of programming languages now in the market. The first it is used BCPL programming languages used. After that B language programs are used. After that C language programs are used. C language advanced is C++ programming. C++ advanced is Java programming. Now see, what is the abbreviation of C? Actually C language, C programming language. How to abbreviate the C? C called as what? Combined programming language. C is nothing but combined programming language. Under C programming, which programming features are combined? A language, before B A language also there, before B A language. What is meant by A language? Assembly language programming, plus B language. What is meant by B language? It's a basic programming language, basic combined programming language. Finally, what is my conclusion? C abbreviation called as combined programming language. Before C, which languages are there? A language and B language. Both programming features added into the C language. That is for a C language. And one more is, you can abbreviate like C. C is compiler based language. Compiler based language. C is a compiler based. It's a compiler based. What is meant by compiler? Compiler called as, it's one type of translator, what I discussed. All programming lines convert to the machine language. Again, that is converted to the our understandable language. This work is done by which processor? Compiler. Compiler will be done. And you see that in the market, which are the famous compilers are there? Compiler examples are there. You see some compilers. Turbo C, TC compiler. TC called as Turbo C compiler, and TC++, Turbo C++, Turbo C++, it's also one compiler. ANSI C, it is also compiler. Div C, it is also compiler. Bornold C, it is also compiler. Different type of compilers introduced to different companies. These all are many compilers. Now these all compilers you can run with the C language programs. Suppose in your machine you want to work the C language program, which is the software to be installed? Compiler to be installed. All these compiler, any one to be installed, then only you can run the programs. Now see, while working of C programming language, you see that C programming language you have. Generally, if I want to understand English programming language, English is nothing but it's a communication between user and user. Suppose if I want to communicate machine with the help of C programming language. If any language you don't know that, how to learn further languages? Suppose you don't know the English, or if you don't know the Hindi, or if you don't know that other languages, how to learn for that languages? First you have to start with the alphabets. First you have to start for learning alphabets. Suppose if you want to learn the English, suppose English language, how to start for learning? You have to start with the, which is the English language character set. Which is the English language character set? A to Z. A to Z to be understand, alphabets. After learning of that, what to be understand? Once you are learning the English language basic character set, what is the next step to be follow? What to be understand? Making of words. Making of words. Whenever you learn the A to Z alphabets, then what is the next step to be move on? Words learning. What is meant by word? Word is nothing but a set of characters, a group of characters. It's called as words. Once you are learn the words, after learning of words, what is the next step to be move on? Sentence creations. Sentence creations. Whenever you perfect of words making, then you move on to the sentence learning. What is meant by sentence? A group of words is called as sentence. Every sentence terminated by dot. Every sentence terminated by dot. Whenever you are learn the sentences, what is the next to be move on? Whenever you learn the sentences creations, what is the finally to learn? Paragraph creations. Finally to learn paragraph. What is meant by paragraph? Paragraph called as what? A collection of sentences. What is meant by sentence? A collection of words. What is meant by word? A collection of characters. That means what? If you want to understand any language, first you have to know about some basic characters. If you want to understand for the English, this is called as character set. Once you are learn the characters set perfectly, you have to go for words creation. What is meant by word? A set of characters. It's called as word. Whenever you perfect the words, then what to be learn? Sentence. What is meant by sentence? A set of words or a group of words. But every sentence terminated by full stop. Whenever you perfect in the sentences creation also, you can write the paragraphs. Your own, you can write the paragraph. You can make a story also. A set of sentences called as paragraph. Similar way, coming to the C programming language, C also you can learn different steps are there. Whenever you want to learn for English, these are the steps to be followed. Similarly, if you want to understand C programming language, you have to go for some steps. But what is the difference of C language and English language? C is also language, English also language. But what is the difference of C and English? English is nothing but user to user communication, people to people communication. But C language is communication between the user and the machine, machine understand. Not only C language, C++, Java, .NET, you want to communicate the machine, because machine does not understand your language, to communicate that with the help of programming languages. English is language to communicate the people, C is the language to communicate the machine, programming language. If you want to understand the C language program, you have the steps. You have the steps. What is the step number 1? When you go for English language, what to be understand? Just alphabets, A to Z. In English language, how many alphabets? 26, A to Z to be understand. But when you go for C programming language, A to Z, after that capital A to Z, you want to work with the capital letters also here. Capital letter to be start, capital letters, and small a to z, after that capital A to Z, and one more is 0 to 9 digits, and one more is symbols, some symbols like special symbols you have. In the keyboard you have some different type of symbols, special symbols. That means what? If you want to understand the C programming language, These are the characters to be followed for the C programming language. Lowercase letters A to Z, uppercase letters capital A to Z, 0 to 9 digits and symbols. This is completely called as what? C language ASCII characters. It's called as, the name is ASCII characters name. What is meant by ASCII? American Standard Code Information Interchange. American Standard Code Information Interchange. It's completely ASCII values. In English language only for alphabets, but for the C language totally small letters, capital letters, digits and symbols. How many ASCII values in the C language? 256 characters. 256 characters. I mean small a to z 30, small a to z and capital A to Z and 0 to 9 and remaining symbol, all are. This is completely 256 characters. This character set called as ASCII character set. That should be understood. What is meant by ASCII characters here actually? If you are entering with small letters, American character, some code will be there. Code. What is the code of that small letters? 97 to 122. It's a coding of small letters. 97 to 122. If I enter the small a, 97. If I enter the small z, 122. Whenever you are enter the capital letters, which is the code 65 to 90. That means uppercase ASCII values are 65 to 90. Lowercase ASCII values are 97 to 122. 0 to 9 also ASCII values 48 to 57. Remaining all are the symbols, totally 256. This is the basic character set of C language. Now this character set not only for C language, if you learn for the Java, C++, .NET, COBOL, every programming this character set to be followed. 256 characters, this is compulsory to follow American Standard Code Information Interchange. Once you are learning of this ASCII characters, what is the next step to be move on? Keywords, keywords learning. What is mean by keywords? Which words are already defined by C language author? C language author defined some meanings. Those meanings are called as keywords. How many keywords defined by C language author? 32 words. It's a predefined. It's a predefined like int, integer, char, character. Some meanings already defined. Done is which already defined. Some meanings. Those words are called as keywords or reserved words. Once you have learned the keywords or reserved words, what to be next to be move on? Variables. Keywords are nothing but author defined. Variables are nothing but user defined. These are the user defined words. Keywords are author defined words, but variables are user defined words. If I want to store any value, if I want to manipulate any value, variables to be used, our own defined. What is one more to be understand? Constants. I mean which value you want to fix the value, you don't want to change. It's a constants. Suppose if I want to calculate the pi area of the circle, pi r square. What is the pi value? 3.14. It's fixed value. I don't want to change of that value. That type of values can be enter constants. That is called as constants. Whenever you understand this keywords making, variables making, constants making, what is the next step to be follow? Statements. Statements to be follow. Statements creation. What is meant by statements? A set of keywords, a set of variables, or a set of constants. You want to define as one line. The line is called as statement. A set of words or a set of variables or a set of constants, you make a line. The line called as statement. Every C language statement terminate with a semicolon symbol. Every C language statement, every line ends with semicolon. In English language means every sentence ended by full stop, but C language means every statement ended with a semicolon. semicolon to be used. Finally, what to be developed once you learn of these programs to be developed. Finally, to develop the programs. What is meant by program? A set of statements. A set of statements is called as program. A set of statements is called as program. Now you see, this is the way of learning. Whenever you want to learn the C programming language, these are the steps are involved. First you have to start for learning ASCII characters, which are the characters used in C language. After that, to learn the keywords, which words are already defined, other defined, which are the variables, our defined words which can store the values. Constants, constants means which are the fixed values, you don't want to change of that values. Once you are learning of these all things, then go for moving on statements. How to make a statement, a set of keywords, variables, constants, you make a line, the line called as statement. Every statement ended by semicolon. What is meant by program? A set of statements. Finally, that is for a way of learning C programming language. Finally, what is my discussion about that this C programming language? Whenever you learn the C programming language, what type of softwares can be developed? System softwares can be developed. Now in the market, which are the system softwares are there? Unix operating system, Linux, DOS, Windows. Unix operating system basically developed from C programming language. Application software means our understandable softwares. Those are developed based on the Java, .NET and advanced programming languages. But C is used only to develop the system applications, console applications. Get it or not? That is for system application software to be developed. Okay. Then tomorrow class I can continue the basics of C language structure. I continue. The tomorrow session I will continue.
Everyone, good morning. Welcome to Aptitude Foundation course presented by APSSTC. So today we are going to discuss analogy. What is meant by analogy and how it works. So first, in order to get into the problems, we understand what is the methodology under this. All right, let's start. So when it comes to analogy, let's discuss the format first. What is meant by analogy and how it works? See, it is so simple. Analogy in the sense, so there will be a relationship between two terms or words. We need to understand how it works. Alright, let's say for example, A, B, C, D. Can you see this? A, B, C, D. Alright, now I'm going to, apply some relationship to this particular variables, and I'm going to derive an analogy from this and how it works. And I choose the one. See for example, A and B ikkada nenu meeku 4 variables rasanu avuna ee 4 variables chusaru ante, see here A and B oka relationship lo undi, hence I'm going to use this colon. I repeat, A and B anedi oka relationship lo undi, ee particular relationship. So A and B are in a particular relationship, and try to understand C and D are in a particular relationship. I repeat, analogies lo entante, see, we understand what is the relationship between two terms here, and we need to apply the same relationship to the other variables in order to get the answer. Ante adi ela anedi nenu meeku cheptanu. For example, we have 4 variables. A variables enti ante A, B, C, D. ఇవే ఆ 4 వేరియబుల్స్. సో ఈ వేరియబుల్స్ని యూజ్ చేసి అనాలజీని ఎలా డిఫైన్ చేస్తాం అనేది ఒకసారి చెక్ చేసుకుందాం. నా ఏ అండ్ బి ఆర్ ఇన్ అ రిలేషన్షిప్. ఆర్ ఇన్ అ రిలేషన్షిప్ అనేది ఎలా అంటే, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏ అనేది బికి బ్రదర్ అనుకుందాం. Try to understand, A is the brother of B. For your understanding purpose, A is the brother of B. Alright, so ఈ రిలేషన్షిప్ లో ఉంది అని మెన్షన్ చేయడానికి నేను ఏం చేస్తున్నాను అంటే జస్ట్ ఒక కోలన్ మెన్షన్ చేస్తాను. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైమ్ నా C and D are in a relationship. Once again, C and D are in a relationship. So ఈ C and D ఏ రిలేషన్షిప్ లో ఉందంటే, once again C is the brother of D. Alright, C is the brother of D. So A, B యొక్క రిలేషన్షిప్ ఏంటి? సిబ్లింగ్స్. I mean A is the brother of B, siblings. And C, D రిలేషన్షిప్ ఏంటి అంటే it is once again siblings. C is the brother of D అంటున్నాను, siblings. Alright, so దీన్ని బట్టి ఏంటంటే A and B ఏ రిలేషన్షిప్లో అయితే ఉన్నాయో C and D కూడా అదే రిలేషన్షిప్లో ఉన్నారు. అంటే A and B సిబ్లింగ్స్ అయితే C and D కూడా సిబ్లింగ్సే. లెట్స్ సే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ సిబ్లింగ్స్ కాదు ఇంకేదైనా తీసుకుంటే లెట్స్ సే ఏ అండ్ బి, ఏ ఫాదర్ బి సన్ అని తీసుకుందాం. ఐ రిపీట్, ఏ ఫాదర్ బి సన్ అని తీసుకుంటే వన్స్ అగైన్ సి ఇస్ టు డి కూడా సి ఫాదర్ డి అనేది సన్ అని తీసుకుంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, సో ఇవి రెండు సేమ్ రిలేషన్షిప్లో ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు మార్క్ ఇట్ యాజ్ అన్ ప్రపోర్షన్ సింబల్ ఉంటుంది. ఇట్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ అనాలజీ. నా ఈ అనాలజీ ఎలా డిరైవ్ అవుతుంది ఏంటి అనేది చెక్ చేస్తాం. సో ట్రై టు అండర్స్టాండ్. మీకు ఎగ్జామ్స్లో మీ క్వశ్చన్స్లో మీరు చూసినట్లయితే దిల్ నాట్ గివ్ యూ ద ఫోర్త్ టర్మ్, దిల్ నాట్ గివ్ యూ దిస్ డి. ఎందుకు డి ఇవ్వరు అనేదంటే దిస్ ఇస్ వాట్ యూ నీడ్ టు ఫైండ్ అవుట్. ఈ డీనే మీరు ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, సో ఏబి ఒక రిలేషన్షిప్లో ఉన్నారు. సో ఏబి ఏ రిలేషన్షిప్లో ఉన్నారు అంటే సిడి కూడా అదే రిలేషన్షిప్లో ఉన్నారు. ఓకే, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏ ఇస్ ద బ్రదర్ ఆఫ్ బి అంటే సి ఈజ్ ఆల్సో బ్రదర్ ఆఫ్ దట్ పర్సన్. ఆల్రైట్, నా దీంట్లో మీరు అండర్స్టాండ్ చేసుకోవాల్సింది ఏంటంటే రిమెంబర్ ఏకి సికి ఎటువంటి రిలేషన్షిప్ ఉండదు. ఏకి సికి ఎటువంటి రిలేషన్షిప్ ఉండదు. ఆల్రైట్, అండ్ ఏ at any cost C కి రిలేట్ అవ్వడు. ఆల్రైట్, సో ఏ పర్టికులర్ రిలేషన్షిప్ is given in between A and B. అంటే క్వశ్చన్లో మీకు ఏకి బికి ఒక పర్టికులర్ రిలేషన్షిప్ ఇస్తారు. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైమ్ సో A is to B ప్రపోర్షన్ C is to క్వశ్చన్ మార్క్ అనేది మీకు క్వశ్చన్ అయితే ఏ అండ్ బికి ఒక రిలేషన్షిప్ డెఫినెట్గా ఉంటారు అని చెప్పాను కదా ఆల్రెడీ. సో ఇలా కోలన్ మెన్షన్ చేశాను అంటేనే వీళ్ళిద్దరు ఒక రిలేషన్షిప్లో ఉన్నారు అని చెప్పి ఒక రిలేషన్షిప్ వాళ్ళే ఇస్తారు. అండ్ దెన్ C is to క్వశ్చన్ మార్క్ అంటారు. సో ఈ ఏ ఇస్ టు బిలో ఏ రిలేషన్షిప్ అయితే ఈ ఏ ఇస్ టు బికి ఏ రిలేషన్షిప్ అయితే ఉందో అదే రిలేషన్షిప్ మీకు సికి అప్లై చేసినప్పుడు మీకు ఆన్సర్ ఏమొస్తుంది అనేది మీరు ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయాలి. అంటే ఎలా? దీన్ని ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేసే ముందు దర్ ఆర్ సర్టెన్ పాయింట్స్ విచ్ యూ నీడ్ టు రిమెంబర్. ఏ అండ్ సికి ఎటువంటి రిలేషన్షిప్ ఉండదు. ఏ అండ్ బికి మాత్రమే రిలేషన్షిప్ ఉంటుంది. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం బి అండ్ సికి కూడా ఎటువంటి రిలేషన్షిప్ ఉండదు. ఆల్రైట్, ఇది ఎలా అనేది మనం ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తే సో ఏ కమ బి అనేది ఒక టీమ్. ఆల్రైట్, సి కమ డి అనేది ఒక టీమ్. బట్ ఈ డి ఎవరు అనేది వాళ్ళు ఎవరు, దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ వీ నీడ్ టు ఫైండ్ అవుట్. బట్ వీళ్ళిద్దరు ఒక టీం అంటే వీళ్ళిద్దరికి ఒక రిలేషన్షిప్ ఉంటుంది. వీళ్ళిద్దరికి ఏ రిలేషన్షిప్ అయితే ఉంటుందో సి అండ్ డి కూడా అదే రిలేషన్షిప్ ఉంటుంది. సో ఒక పర్టికులర్ రిలేషన్షిప్ వాళ్ళే ఇస్తారు. ఆ రిలేషన్షిప్ని యూటిలైజ్ చేసి అప్లై చేసి వీ నీడ్ టు ఫైండ్ అవుట్ ద ఆన్సర్. నా ఎట్ ద సేమ్ టైం రిమెంబర్, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇక్కడ డి ఉంది అంటే కూడా ఇక్కడ క్వశ్చన్ ఫార్మాట్ పక్కన పెడితే ఫస్ట్ ఫార్మాట్ చూద్దాం. ఇక్కడ డి అనేది కూడా ఉంది అంటే రిమెంబర్ ఏ డికి కూడా ఎటువంటి రిలేషన్షిప్ ఉండాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు, ఉండదు కూడా. ఏ డికి ఎటువంటి రిలేషన్షిప్ ఉండదు. అండ్ దెన్ బి డికి కూడా ఎటువంటి రిలేషన్షిప్ ఉండదు. సో అనాలజీలో ఏ బి సి డి, సో ఏ అండ్ బి ఒక సెట్, సి అండ్ డి అనేది ఒక సెట్. ఏ అండ్ బికి ఒక రిలేషన్షిప్ ఉంటుంది. సి అండ్ డికి ఏ అండ్ బికి ఏ రిలేషన్షిప్ అయితే ఉంటుందో సి అండ్ డికి కూడా అదే రిలేషన్షిప్ ఉంటుంది. బట్ ఏకి సికి ఎటువంటి రిలేషన్షిప్ ఉండదు. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం ఏ అండ్ డికి ఎటువంటి రిలేషన్షిప్ ఉండదు. బి అండ్ సికి ఎటువంటి రిలేషన్షిప్ ఉండదు. బి అండ్ డికి కూడా ఎటువంటి రిలేషన్షిప్ ఉండదు. సో ఇది మనం టీమ్గా కన్సిడర్ చేస్తే ఏ అండ్ బి ఒక టీమ్ ఇక్కడ, సి అండ్ డి ఒక టీమ్ ఇక్కడ. ఆల్రైట్, మరి మీరు ఏంటి ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయాలి అంటే సో సింపుల్. ఈ పర్టికులర్ క్వశ్చన్ ఎలా ఇస్తారంటే ఏ ఇస్ టు బి అనేది ఇస్తారు. సో ఏ ఇస్ టు బి అనేది 2 టర్మ్స్ ఇస్తారు. ఆల్రైట్, ఈ 2 టర్మ్స్ చూడగానే మీరు ఫస్ట్ థింగ్ ఆన్సర్ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. ఫస్ట్ థింగ్ ఇక్కడ డి ఏంటి అనేది మీరు ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేసే ముందు అంటే ఏ ఇస్ టు బి ప్రపోర్షన్ సి ఇస్ టు డి అంటే దీన్ని మీరు అర్థం చేసుకోవాల్సింది అంటే ఏ అండ్ బి ఎటువంటి రిలేషన్స్లో ఉన్నారో సి అండ్ ద నెక్స్ట్ టైం కూడా అదే రిలేషన్షిప్లో ఉన్నారు. సో క్వశ్చన్ చూడగానే మీరు ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయాల్సింది ఏంటంటే ఈ రిలేషన్షిప్ ఏంటి అనేది మీరు ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయాలి. ఇది మీరు ఎలా ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేస్తారు అంటే సో మీ ఒకాబులరీ మీకు దీంట్లో హెల్ప్ చేస్తున్నాయి. గైస్ ట్రై టు అండర్స్టాండ్ అనాలజీస్లో మీకు నెంబర్ అనాలజీ ఉంది, రిమెంబర్ నెంబర్ అనాలజీ ఉంది, వర్డ్ అనాలజీ ఉంది, కోడింగ్ అండ్ డీకోడింగ్ అనాలజీ ఉంది. సో అనాలజీ అనేది ఓన్లీ ఒకాబులరీకి మాత్రమే యూజ్ చేస్తారని కాదు, అనాలజీ అనేది నంబర్స్కి కూడా యూజ్ చేస్తారు. సో ఇట్ డిపెండ్స్. Alright, so we have 3 types of analogies. First type, questions based on vocabulary, English terminology, words and words probably, and then questions based on numbers and questions based on coding and decoding. Alright, now so A and B కు ఒక రిలేషన్షిప్, ఈ రిలేషన్షిప్ని ఏంటి అనేది మనమే ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది, వాళ్ళు ఇవ్వరు. ఆల్రైట్, ఈ రిలేషన్షిప్ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఇదే రిలేషన్షిప్ని మనం ఇక్కడ సీక్ అప్లై చేస్తాం. సో సీక్ అప్లై చేసినప్పుడు అప్లికేషన్ రిలేషన్షిప్ అప్లికేషన్. రిలేషన్షిప్ అప్లికేషన్. సో ఇది అప్లై చేసినప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందిరా అంటే మనకి ఈ ఫైనల్ ఆన్సర్ ఆటోమేటిక్గా డిరైవ్ అవుతుంది. బట్ ఛాలెంజెస్ ఏంటి అనాలజీలో అనేది మీరు చూసుకోవాలి గైస్. నేను మీకు ఫస్ట్ నుండే చెప్తున్నాను, వెన్ ఇట్ కమ్స్ టు యాప్టిట్యూడ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఎప్పుడు హార్డ్గా ఉండదు. ఆల్రైట్, క్వశ్చన్స్ అనేది ఒక స్టాండర్డ్ ఒక స్టాండర్డ్స్ని ఫాలో అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, ఒక స్టాండర్డ్ ఫార్మాట్, ఒక స్టాండర్డ్స్ని ఫాలో అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. సో క్వశ్చన్ ఈజీ లేదు క్వశ్చన్ హార్డ్ అనేది ఎప్పుడు డిఫరెన్షియేట్ చేస్తారు అంటే ఇట్స్ ఆల్ అబౌట్ యువర్ ఆన్సర్స్. ఓకే, ఆప్షన్స్, మీ ఆప్షన్సే మీ క్వశ్చన్ ఈజీగాను టఫ్గాను చేస్తుంది. ఆల్రైట్, సో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఎలా అనేది మీరు చూసినట్లయితే, సో దీనికి మీకు ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్తాను. క్వశ్చన్స్ ఎలా టఫ్ చేస్తుంది అనేది మీరు ఒక క్వశ్చన్ హార్డా ఈజీనా అనేది ఎలా డిఫరెన్షియేట్ చేస్తారు అంటే ఆప్షన్స్ని బేస్ చేసుకొని. లెట్స్ సే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ వీ హ్యావ్ అ క్యాల్కులేషన్. ఆ క్యాల్కులేషన్ ఎలా ఉంది అంటే 4905. ఇది మీకు ఆల్రెడీ ఫస్ట్ క్లాస్లో ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తున్నాను యాప్టిట్యూడ్ ఇంట్రడక్షన్లో, బట్ ఐమ్ జస్ట్ రిపీటింగ్ ఫర్ యువర్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ థింగ్. 4905 అనే నెంబర్ ఉంది అండ్ దీన్ని 698 అనే నెంబర్ డివైడ్ చేయాలి. ఐ రిపీట్, 4905 అనే ఒక నెంబర్ని 698 డివైడ్ చేస్తే, సో ఇదే మీ క్యాల్కులేషన్ యొక్క ఫైనల్ సొల్యూషన్ పార్ట్. దీన్ని డివైడ్ చేసినట్లయితే విల్ గెట్ ద ఆన్సర్. నా ఈ సేమ్ క్యాల్కులేషన్ని ఎలా ఈజీగా చేయాలి, ఎలా హార్డ్గా చేయాలి అనేది ఆప్షన్స్ డిఫైన్ చేస్తుంది. లెట్స్ సీ హౌ ఇట్ వర్క్స్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఫస్ట్ ఈ ఆప్షన్ ఎలా ఉంది అంటే లెట్స్ సే 6 some 2 digit, 2 7.2 digits, 3 8.2 digits, and then 4 9.2 digits. So empty space is just 2 digit numbers and 6.46 or 6.01 something. Okay, just an example. Now ఇంకొక ఆప్షన్ మీరు చూసినట్లయితే ఇది ఒక సెట్ ఆఫ్ ఆప్షన్స్. ఇంకొక సెట్ ఆఫ్ ఆప్షన్స్ మీరు చూసినట్లయితే 7 పాయింట్, సెకండ్ ఆప్షన్ కూడా 7 పాయింట్, థర్డ్ ఆప్షన్ కూడా 7 పాయింట్, ఫోర్త్ ఆప్షన్ 7 పాయింట్. అన్ని 7 పాయింట్స్ ఉంది. బట్ నెక్స్ట్ వచ్చే డిజిట్స్ ఇక్కడ డిఫరెంట్. డిజిట్స్ ఇక్కడ డిఫరెంట్ అంటే ఏంటి ఎలా అని చెప్పి. సో ఈ క్వశ్చన్ ఒక్కసారి మీరు అబ్జర్వ్ చేయండి. సో 4905 by 698. సో ఈ పర్టికులర్ ఆప్షన్స్ చూసినట్లయితే 6 పాయింట్స్, 7 పాయింట్, 8 పాయింట్, 9 పాయింట్ అన్నిటికీ చాలా డిఫరెన్సెస్ ఉన్నాయి. am I right? సో ఇది మీరు క్యాల్కులేషన్ పార్ట్లో మీరు చూసినట్లయితే దీన్ని మనం కంప్లీట్గా 7ని కాసేపు అజ్యూమ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. 698 or 700 or 7 వాట్ ఎవర్ ఇట్ మే. అండ్ దీన్ని నేను 4900గా అజ్యూమ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. am I right? 4900 గాను దీన్ని 700 గాను అప్రాక్సిమేషన్. నా this two zeros gets cancelled. So 7 ones it is 7 sevens. So 7 points. So exactly ఇది 7 points మనకు రావచ్చు. 7 points. I mean ఇది 6 point లో కాకపోయినా 7s లో రావచ్చు. సో డెఫినెట్గా ఇది 700 కంటే ఈ వాల్యూ తక్కువే ఉంది అండ్ ఇది 4900 కంటే ఎక్కువే ఉంది. సో డెఫినెట్గా ఇక్కడ 6 పాయింట్ రావడానికి ఛాన్స్ లేదు, 7.0 లేదు, 7 పాయింట్ రావడానికి ఛాన్సెస్ ఉంది. ఆల్రైట్, నా ఇది ఒక బేసిక్ క్యాల్కులేషన్. నా ఈ ఆప్షన్స్ మీరు చూసినట్లయితే ఇట్ ఈస్ ఈజీ ఫర్ అస్. ఫస్ట్ ఆప్షన్ 6 పాయింట్ and second option 7 point, third option is 8 point, fourth option is 9 point. So obviously ఈ పర్టికులర్ ఆప్షన్స్ మనకి క్యాల్కులేషన్ ఈజీ చేసింది. జస్ట్ బికాస్ బై సీయింగ్ దిస్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ వీ కెన్ సే దిస్ ఇస్ 7 పాయింట్. ఆల్రైట్, సో 6ని 8ని 9ని ఆటోమేటిక్గా ఎలిమినేట్ చేయొచ్చు, ఎందుకంటే 49/7 వీ నో దట్ ఇట్ ఇస్ 7/7. ఆల్రైట్, నా ఇదే మీరు సెకండ్ సెట్ ఆఫ్ ఆప్షన్స్ మీరు చూసుకున్నట్లయితే అన్ని 7 పాయింట్స్లోనే ఉంది. సో అన్ని 7 పాయింట్స్లోనే ఉండేటప్పుడు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇక్కడ మనం అప్రాక్సిమేషన్ వాల్యూ మనం చేయలేం. Alright, in such case we need to do the division. In the sense 4905 divided by 698 మీరు ఎగ్జాక్ట్గా డివిజన్ చేసి ఫైనల్గా వచ్చే కోషెంట్ని మాత్రమే మీరు చూస్ చేసుకోగలుగుతారు. ఐ మీన్ అది 7.0709 1 ఉండొచ్చు, లేదు 7.02 ఉండొచ్చు, 7.03 ఉండొచ్చు, 7.04 ఉండొచ్చు. ఐ హోప్ యూ అండర్స్టాండ్ దిస్. సో ఈ మీ క్యాల్కులేషన్స్ని మీ ఆప్షన్స్ మాత్రమే హార్డ్ చేయగలుగుతుంది. సో యాప్టిట్యూడ్లో ఎటువంటి క్వశ్చన్ అయినా మీ ఆప్షన్స్ని బేస్ చేసుకునే మీ యొక్క టైమింగ్ అనేది ఆధారపడి ఉంటుంది. సో I suggest you to go to the options first. Understand what is option A, options B, option C and option D. Please don't ignore. ఎంతసేపు మీరు క్వశ్చన్తో స్ట్రగుల్ అవుతుంటే మీ ఆప్షన్స్ 90% ఆఫ్ ద క్వశ్చన్స్ మీరు ఆప్షన్ని చూసే ఎలిమినేషన్ మెథడ్లో మీరు ఆన్సర్ చేయొచ్చు. am I right? సో ఇన్ సచ్ కేస్ ఇది మీరు చూసారు కదా, ఇది ఎందుకు ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్పారంటే ద సేమ్ అప్లైస్ టు అనాలజీ హియర్. సో అనాలజీలో A and B డెఫినెట్గా ఒక రిలేషన్షిప్లో ఉంటుంది అన్నాను. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైమ్ C and D ఒక అదే రిలేషన్షిప్లో ఉంటుంది. బట్ ఈ A and Bకి ఫస్ట్ మీరు రిలేషన్షిప్ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేసిన వెంటనే Cకి అప్లై చేసి D ఏంటి అనేది చెక్ చేసే ముందు కింద ఉన్న ఆప్షన్స్ ఏంటి అని చూడండి. సో ఆప్షన్స్ ఈజీ అంటే క్వశ్చన్ ఈజీ చేయాలంటే అన్ని మల్టిపుల్ ఆప్షన్స్ ఇస్తాడు, అంటే సంబంధమే లేకుండా ఆప్షన్స్ ఇస్తాడు. ఎలిమినేషన్ రూల్లో మీరు ఎగ్జాక్ట్గా అది ఏంటి అనేది ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయొచ్చు. ఒకవేళ క్వశ్చన్ని హార్డ్గా అడగాలి అనుకుంటే 4 ఆప్షన్స్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ సిమిలర్గా ఉంటుంది, అంటే ఒక ఆన్సర్ 100% కరెక్ట్, ఇంకొక ఆన్సర్ 90% సిమిలర్గా ఉంటుంది, ఇంకొక ఆప్షన్ 80% సిమిలర్గాను, ఇంకొక ఆప్షన్ సిమిలర్ 50 or 60% సిమిలర్గాను ఉంటుంది. సో దట్ టైమ్ యూ టేక్ at that particular time you'll be confused అంటే నేను ఆప్షన్ ఏది షూట్ చేసుకోవాలి. సో ఇన్ సచ్ కేస్ సో దీంట్లో మీరు వర్డ్స్ అనేది ఒకాబులరీ ఆన్ డైలీ బేసిస్ మీకు ఇంగ్లీష్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ మీ యాప్టిట్యూడ్ ఎంత ముఖ్యమో మీ కమ్యూనికేషన్ స్కిల్స్ ఇంప్రూవ్మెంట్ కూడా అంతే ముఖ్యం. సో ఇన్ సచ్ కేస్ ఇలాంటి టాపిక్స్ మీరు రీజనింగ్లో వర్బల్ రీజనింగ్ సాల్వ్ చేసేటప్పుడు యూ హ్యావ్ టు బీ మోర్ కాషియస్. Okay, more cautious and try to learn as much as vocabulary you can. It really helps you to crack the examination. And ee vocabulary anedi meek in fact so question edanna let's say for example edanna complicated terminology వచ్చేటప్పుడు కూడా మీకు వచ్చినప్పుడు కూడా మీకు ఈజీగా ఉంటుంది సాల్వ్ చేయడానికి. ఆల్రైట్, నా సో ఇది అర్థమైంది కదా. A is to B, C is to D, A is to A and B ఏ రిలేషన్షిప్ ఉందో అది ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేసి అది మనం Cకి అప్లై చేసి అండ్ దెన్ C నుండి ఆ D అనేది ఏంటి అనేది మనం ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేసాం. సో బిఫోర్ వి గెట్ ఇన్ టు ద ప్రాక్టీస్ క్వశ్చన్స్ లెట్ మీ ట్రైన్ యూ పీపుల్ ఆన్ సర్టెన్ vocabulary. కొన్ని మీకు నేను హెల్ప్ చేస్తాను, కొన్ని రిలేషన్షిప్స్ నేను మీకు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను. ఆల్రైట్, జస్ట్ నోట్ డౌన్ ఫస్ట్ వన్. Alright, it's going to be study and relationship. Let's say for example study and the topic relationship అనేది చూసుకుందాం. స్టడీ అండ్ టాపిక్ రిలేషన్షిప్ ఏంటి, ఎలా ఉంటుంది. ఆల్రైట్, సో లెట్స్ సీ. దీంట్లో సో నేను మీకు చెప్పినట్లు ఈ A, B, C, ఈ D అనే టర్మ్ ఫోర్త్ టర్మ్ని మీరు ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయాలి. ఆల్రైట్, ఈ స్టడీ అండ్ టాపిక్ అనే ఈ స్టడీ అండ్ టాపిక్ రిలేషన్షిప్ సాల్వ్ చేయాలంటే ఫస్ట్ థింగ్ ఒక బేసిక్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నేను మీకు చెప్తాను. వెరీ వెరీ బేసిక్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. లెట్స్ సే ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు స్టార్ట్ విత్ ఎర్త్. ఇట్స్ ప్లానెట్. ఎర్త్, ప్లానెట్ and moon question mark. So it's a very basic example. I repeat this: earth, planet, moon question mark. ఇదే మీ అనాలజీ క్వశ్చన్. సో దీంట్లో నేను ఆప్షన్స్ మీకు ఇవ్వట్లేదు, ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ కాబట్టి. సో ఐ వాంట్ యూ పీపుల్ టు గెస్. ఇట్ ఈస్ సో సింపుల్. సో ఎర్త్, మూన్ ఎర్త్, ప్లానెట్, మూన్ క్వశ్చన్ మార్క్ కదా. దీన్ని మీరు సాల్వ్ చేసే ముందు ఫస్ట్ ట్రై టు అండర్స్టాండ్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద రిలేషన్షిప్ బిట్వీన్ దిస్ ఎర్త్ అండ్ ప్లానెట్. సో మన సోలార్ సిస్టంలో ట్రై టు అండర్స్టాండ్, మన సోలార్ సిస్టంలో ఎర్త్ ఏంటి? ఎర్త్ ఇస్ అ ప్లానెట్. ఐ ఐ రైట్? సో వీనస్, మార్చ్, ఎర్త్, జూపిటర్, యురేనస్ ఆల్ ఇవన్నీ ఏంటంటే ఇట్స్ అ ప్లానెట్. సో ఇక్కడ ఒక సోలార్ సిస్టంలో ఎర్త్ యొక్క నేమ్ ఏంటి, దాని యొక్క పర్టికులర్ స్పెసిఫికేషన్ ఏంటి అంటే ఇట్స్ అ ప్లానెట్. మరి సన్ అనేది ఏంటి అంటే ఇట్స్ అ స్టార్. రిమెంబర్, సన్ ఇస్ నాట్ అ ప్లానెట్, సన్ ఇస్ అ స్టార్. సో ఇట్స్ అ వెరీ బేసిక్ థింగ్. అండ్ మరి మూన్ ఏమవుతుంది అంటే మూన్ ఇస్, సో ఎర్త్ అనేది మన సోలార్ సిస్టంలో ప్లానెట్ అయితే మూన్ అనేది ఏమవుతుంది? శాటిలైట్. ఆల్రైట్, సో మూన్ ఇస్ it's a satellite. It's a natural satellite. It's not an artificial satellite. It's satellite. So sun, earth అనేది planet అయితే moon అనేది satellite అవుతుంది. So this is the example of analogy. Okay, so ఇలాంటి అనాలజీ క్వశ్చన్స్ని మీరు సాల్వ్ చేయాలంటే మీరు చాలా బుక్స్ చదవాల్సి ఉంటుంది, చాలా vocabulary నేర్చుకోవాల్సి ఉంటుంది. వాటిల్లో కొన్ని రిలేషన్షిప్స్ మాత్రం నేను మీకు ఇప్పుడు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను. ఆ కొన్ని రిలేషన్షిప్స్ ఏంటి అనేది చూద్దాం. ఇన్ ద సెన్స్ ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ ఏ అండ్ బి మాత్రం నేను మీకు చెప్తాను. సి అండ్ డికి నేను వెళ్ళట్లేదు. సి అండ్ డి అంటే క్వశ్చన్స్లోకి వచ్చేస్తుంది. ఏ అండ్ బి అంటే లెట్స్ సే రెండు టర్మ్స్ ఇస్తే వాటి మధ్యలో రిలేషన్షిప్స్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది, ఆ రిలేషన్షిప్స్ని ఎలా ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయాలి అనేది నేను ముందే మీకు ఇస్తున్నాను. అంటే ఇవి ఏంటి అంటే ప్రీవియస్ ఇయర్ క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్స్ నుంచి కామన్గా అడిగే రిలేషన్షిప్స్ని నేను మీకు ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ చేసి అది వరకు ఈరోజు నేను చెప్తున్నాను. ఆల్రైట్, లెట్స్ స్టార్ట్ విత్ స్టడీ అండ్ టాపిక్ రిలేషన్షిప్. సో స్టడీ అండ్ టాపిక్ రిలేషన్షిప్ ఏమొస్తుంది? Alright, the first one, let's start with certain examples. Study and topic relationship మీరు చూసినట్లయితే first thing, let's say botany. So మీ సబ్జెక్ట్స్ నుంచి చూద్దాం. It's like study and topic relationship. స్టడీ అండ్ టాపిక్ రిలేషన్షిప్ వీటిలో కామన్గా అడిగే క్వశ్చన్స్ కొన్ని ఇంపార్టెన్స్ మీకు చెప్తాను. సో వాట్ ఇస్ బాటనీ? సో బాటనీ అంటే ఏంటి? సో బాటనీ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ద స్టడీ ఆఫ్ ప్లాంట్స్. రిమెంబర్ బాటనీ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ద స్టడీ ఆఫ్ ప్లాంట్స్. సో ఈ బాటనీ ప్లాంట్స్ అని చెప్పి మీరు ఈ రెండు కీవర్డ్స్ చూసినట్లయితే ఈ సి అండ్ డి ఏదన్నా ఉన్నాయి ఇక్కడ, ఈ సి అండ్ డి అనేది మీకు అనవసరం. ఎందుకంటే ఈ రెండు వర్డ్స్లో ఫస్ట్ మీరు రిలేషన్షిప్ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేసినట్లయితే ఈ సి అండ్ డి మీరు ఆటోమేటిక్గా ఆన్సర్ తీసుకొచ్చేస్తారు. సో స్టడీ అండ్ టాపిక్ రిలేషన్షిప్లో ఫస్ట్ థింగ్ నేను మీకు ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏమి ఇస్తాను అంటే బాటనీ అండ్ ప్లాంట్స్ అనేది మీకు ఇచ్చారు అంటే యూ నీడ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ ఇట్స్ నథింగ్ బట్ సో దిస్ ఇస్ ద టాపిక్ అండ్ దిస్ ఇస్ ఆల్ అబౌట్. సో స్టడీ ఆఫ్ ప్లాంట్స్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ బాటనీ. ఈ పర్టికులర్ ప్లాంట్స్ గురించి మీరు చదివేదాన్ని మనం ఏమంటాం, బాటనీ అంటాం. ద సేమ్ థింగ్ ఎథ్నాలజీ, దర్ ఇస్ సంథింగ్ కాల్డ్ ఎథ్నాలజీ, రైట్. సో ఎథ్నాలజీ, సో ఎథ్నాలజీ అనేది ఏంటి అని చూసినట్టయితే మీరు హ్యూమన్ రేసెస్, రైట్, హ్యూమన్ రేసెస్. సో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఈ రెండు వర్డ్స్ ఇచ్చాయి. సో ఎథ్నాలజీ, హ్యూమన్ రిసోర్సెస్ అని ఇస్తే సో ట్రై టు అండర్స్టాండ్ ఈ హ్యూమన్ రేసెస్ గురించి మీరు చదవడాన్ని, ఐ మీన్ దట్ పర్టికులర్ టాపిక్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఎథ్నాలజీ. సో మీకు క్వశ్చన్ ఎలా ప్లాన్ చేయొచ్చు మీరు, బాటనీ ప్లాంట్స్, రైట్, రిపీట్, బాటనీ ప్లాంట్స్ ఎథ్నాలజీ అని ఇస్తారు. సో బాటనీ ప్లాంట్స్ ఎథ్నాలజీ ఇస్ టు క్వశ్చన్ మార్క్. దెన్ యూ నీడ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ బాటనీ ప్లాంట్స్ అంటే ఈ ప్లాంట్స్ గురించి చదవడం ఎథ్నాలజీ. సో ఎథ్నాలజీ అంటే సో ఎథ్నాలజీ అనేటప్పుడు దేని గురించి చదువుతున్నారు, హ్యూమన్ రేసెస్ గురించి. అండ్ దీంట్లో ప్లాంట్స్, బాటనీ అండ్ బాటనీ ప్లాంట్స్ ఏ ఆర్డర్లోనా ఇవ్వచ్చు. ఆల్ రైట్, ఇన్ ద సెన్స్ బాటనీ ప్లాంట్స్ అన్నప్పుడు సో ఏమవుతుంది, ఇది టాపిక్ అవుతుంది, ఇది ఐ మీన్ దేని గురించి చదువుతున్నారు అవుతుంది, ఇది దాని పర్టికులర్ టాపిక్ అవుతుంది, అవునా. ఇప్పుడు దీంట్లో ప్లాంట్స్, బాటనీ అని ఇచ్చినప్పుడు మీకు ఏమవుతుంది, ఇక్కడ హ్యూమన్ రేసెస్ అని ఇస్తారు. ప్లాంట్స్ గురించి చదవడం బాటనీ అయితే ఐ మీన్ హ్యూమన్ రేసెస్ గురించి చదవడం ఏంటి, ఎథ్నాలజీ. సో ఇలా అడగచ్చు, రివర్స్లో కూడా అడుగుతారు. ఆల్ రైట్, నెక్స్ట్ చూడండి otology. O-T-O-L-O-G-Y. What does it mean by otology? So otology is nothing but the study of eggs. Otology is nothing but the study of eggs. And then mycology. So it's like study of fungi. So ilantivi మీరు కొన్ని basic వాటివి తెలుసుకుంటే it would be so easy for you to understand, you know, the concept. So ఇవే ఈ 4 examples తో పాటు క్లోజ్ చేయమని చెప్పి నేను చెప్పట్లేదు. సో ఇలాంటివి మీరు ఇంకొన్ని వర్డ్స్, బేసిక్ వర్డ్స్ అన్ని నేర్చుకోవాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ astrology. So astrology, for example, astrology is like study of what? Your future, your prediction. Am I right? Astrology is nothing but study of prediction. The same thing, like let's say if I say aeronautics, so aerospace engineering. So aerospace engineering is study of what? So aeroplanes and the engineering, exactly. So this is how it works. So if I say computer science engineering, so మీరు ఏం చేయాలంటే ఈ స్టడీ అండ్ టాపిక్ రిలేషన్షిప్ హెడ్డింగ్ కింద ఇలాంటి కొన్ని రాసి నోట్ చేసి పెట్టుకుంటే ఇట్ వుడ్ బి ఈజీ ఫర్ యూ టు రెఫర్ ఇన్ ద ఫ్యూచర్. ఆల్ రైట్, నెక్స్ట్ మనం చూసినట్లయితే వర్కర్ అండ్ టూల్ రిలేషన్షిప్ అనేది చూద్దాం. సో వర్కర్ అండ్ టూల్ రిలేషన్షిప్ మీద కూడా మీకు ఎక్కువ క్వశ్చన్స్ వస్తాయి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ వర్కర్ అండ్ టూల్ రిలేషన్షిప్. వర్కర్ అండ్ టూల్ రిలేషన్షిప్. సో దీంట్లో క్వశ్చన్స్ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయడం అనేది ఇంపార్టెంట్ కాదు. రిమెంబర్, ఈ రిలేషన్షిప్స్ని నేర్చుకోవడం మాత్రమే మీకు ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో ఇలాంటి పర్టికులర్ థింగ్ అనేది మీరు నేర్చుకోవాలి. సో వాట్ ఇస్ దిస్ వర్కర్ అండ్ టూల్? ఆల్ రైట్, సో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ గార్డనర్ అని నేను మీకు చెప్తున్నాను. ఆల్ రైట్, గార్డనర్. సో గార్డనర్ అంటే ఎవరు? So gardener, we all know that it's like, you know, the person who takes care of the garden. Am I right? So the person who takes care of the garden. So in such case, what we call, so gardener anedi worker. Gardener anedi oka manishi. Avuna? So this particular person works with which kind of tool anedi meeku teliyali. So gardener works with a harrow. హ్యారో అనేది మీరు చూసినట్లయితే సో ఇట్స్ లైక్ యూనో ఒక స్పైక్స్ ఉన్న ఒక మిషన్ లా ఉంటుంది. మొత్తం యూనో ఆ సర్ఫేస్ మొత్తం క్లీన్ చేయడానికి, నీట్ చేయడానికి, ఓకే, ఒక గార్డెనింగ్ చేయడానికి యూజ్ చేసే ఒక టూల్ అది. ఆల్రైట్, ఇట్ హ్యాస్ సమ్ స్పైక్స్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ మీకు ఇలా ఉంటుంది. ట్రాక్టర్స్ వెనుక మీరు చూస్తారు దున్నడానికి అని చెప్పి అంటాం. ఇట్స్ అ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ స్పైక్స్ లాగా ఉంటుంది. అది హ్యాండ్ టూల్ వస్తుంది, పెద్ద మెషిన్స్ కూడా వస్తున్నాయి. సో గార్డనర్ అనేది తన యూజ్ చేసే టూల్ ఏంటి అంటే మెయిన్గా ఇట్స్ లైక్ హ్యారో. అండ్ లెట్స్ సే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ టైలర్. సో టైలర్ అనే అతను, సో టైలర్ ఏం చేస్తాడు, ఏ పర్టికులర్ యూనో టూల్తో యూస్ చేస్తాడు అనేది మనకు తెలియదు. సో టైలర్ ఇస్ ఆబ్వియస్లీ నీడిల్. టైలరింగ్ మిషన్ అంటారు, బట్ నీడిల్. ఆల్ రైట్, అండర్స్టాండ్. సో ఇట్స్ నీడిల్. అండ్ దెన్ ఇఫ్ యూ అబ్జర్వ్ యూనో సోల్జర్. సో సోల్జర్, సో ఒకసారి మీరు చూసినట్లయితే సోల్జర్ అనే అతను దేంట్లో మీరు ఐ మీన్ ఏం యూజ్ చేస్తాడు, టూల్ ఏంటి. సో సోల్జర్ అనే అతను వర్కర్ అయినప్పుడు సో టూల్ ఏమవుతుంది అనేది మీరు చెక్ చేయాలి. సో టూల్ ఏమవుతుంది ఇక్కడ ఆబ్వియస్లీ అంటే సోల్జర్ అనే అతను టూల్ ఏంటి, ఇక్కడ గన్ అని మీరు గుర్తుపెట్టుకున్నా ఓకే, లేదు అంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ వెపన్ అని నోట్ చేసుకున్నా మీకు ఓకే. రిమెంబర్, గన్ అని మీరు నోట్ చేసుకున్నా ఓకే, లేదంటే వెపన్ అని మీరు నోట్ చేసుకున్నా ఓకే. సో నో నీడ్ టు వరీ అబౌట్. ఆల్రైట్, నెక్స్ట్ మీరు చూసినట్లయితే టూల్, నెక్స్ట్ థింగ్, అండ్ దెన్ టైలర్, నీడిల్, గార్డనర్, అండ్ ఇట్స్ లైక్ హ్యారో, అండ్ దెన్ సోల్జర్, గన్, డాక్టర్. లెట్స్ సే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ డాక్టర్. సో డాక్టర్ అనే అతను ఒక పర్సన్ అయితే, ఐ మీన్ ఒక వర్కర్ అయితే, తన టూల్ యూస్ చేసే టూల్ ఏముంటుంది, ఇట్ ఇస్ స్టెథోస్కోప్. సో ఇలాంటి రిలేషన్షిప్ ఉన్న వర్డ్స్ అన్ని మీరు తీసి పెట్టుకోవాలి, ఐ మీన్ నోట్ చేసి పెట్టుకుంటే వర్కర్ అండ్ టూల్ అనే రిలేషన్షిప్ మీకు యూజ్ అవుతుంది. నెక్స్ట్ మీరు చూసినట్లంటే వర్కర్ అండ్ ప్రోడక్ట్ రిలేషన్షిప్. వర్కర్ అండ్ ప్రోడక్ట్ అంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఒక పర్సన్ వర్క్ చేసిన తర్వాత దాని యొక్క అవుట్పుట్ ఎలా కనెక్ట్ చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, సో వర్కర్ అండ్ ప్రోడక్ట్ రిలేషన్షిప్, వర్కర్ అండ్ ప్రోడక్ట్ రిలేషన్షిప్, వీటి మీద కూడా క్వశ్చన్స్ రావడానికి ఛాన్స్ ఉంటుంది. వర్కర్ అండ్ ప్రోడక్ట్ రిలేషన్షిప్, వర్కర్ అండ్ ప్రోడక్ట్ రిలేషన్షిప్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, సో వర్కర్ అండ్ ప్రోడక్ట్ అంటే లెట్స్ సే ఐల్ స్టార్ట్ విత్ పోయట్. ఓకే, పోయట్. సో పోయట్ కవి, అవునా? సో పోయట్ యొక్క ప్రోడక్ట్ ఏముంటుంది, ఇట్ ఇస్ పోయం. పోయట్ యొక్క ప్రోడక్ట్ ఏముంటుంది, సో తన యొక్క ప్రోడక్ట్, తను వర్క్ చేసిన తర్వాత వచ్చే అవుట్పుట్ ఏ ప్రోడక్ట్ అంటే ఇట్స్ పోయం. నా ఇఫ్ యూ స్టార్ట్ విత్ హంటర్, హంటర్ అని తీసుకుందాం. హంటర్, వేటగాడు. సో వేటగాడు యొక్క ప్రోడక్ట్, ఫైనల్ ప్రోడక్ట్. సో హంటర్, హీ యూజువలీ హంట్స్ ఆబ్వియస్లీ. సో హంటర్కి ఏది కనెక్ట్ అవుతుంది, ప్రోడక్ట్ ఏంటి అని చెప్తే, సి హంటర్ అనేవాడు ఫుడ్ కాదు. సో దర్ ఇస్ అ లాట్స్ ఆఫ్ డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ ఫుడ్ అండ్ దెన్ ప్రే. ఓకే, హంటర్ ఇస్ కనెక్టెడ్ టు ప్రే. ఓకే, హంటర్ ఫుడ్, ఐ మీన్ హంటర్ అనేది ఫుడ్కి కనెక్ట్ చేయాలా, ప్రేకి కనెక్ట్ చేయాలంటే ప్రేకి మాత్రమే కనెక్ట్ చేయాలి. ఫుడ్ ఇస్ కంప్లీట్లీ డిఫరెంట్. సి ఫుడ్ అనేది మనం ఏమని చెప్తామంటే ఇట్స్ లైక్ విచ్ ఇస్ రెడీ టు ఈట్, అవునా? సో హంటర్, వేటగాడు అనేది ఆ పర్టికులర్ ఏదో ఒక వేటాడి ఒక పర్టికులర్ ఒక జంతువుని చంపి తీసుకొచ్చేది ఏమవుతుందంటే ఫుడ్ అవ్వదు, అది ప్రే మాత్రమే అవుతుంది. ఓకే, ఆ ప్రే అనేదాన్ని కుక్ చేస్తే మాత్రమే అది ఫుడ్ రూపంలో కన్వర్ట్ అవుతుంది. సో ఇన్ సచ్ కేస్ హంటర్ అనేది ప్రేకి కనెక్ట్ అవుతుంది. ఆల్రైట్, నెక్స్ట్ వన్, లెట్స్ సే టైలర్. సో ఇందులో ఇందాక మనం చూసినట్లయితే వర్కర్ అండ్ టూల్ రిలేషన్షిప్లో టైలర్ చూసాం. దీంట్లో చూడండి వర్కర్ అండ్ ప్రోడక్ట్లో చూసాం. టైలర్ యొక్క అవుట్పుట్ ఏముంటుంది, క్లోత్స్. టైలర్ యొక్క అవుట్పుట్ మీరు చూసినట్లయితే ఇట్ ఇస్ క్లోత్స్. ఆల్రైట్, నెక్స్ట్ ఫార్మర్. ఇట్స్ అ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్లా వెళ్తూనే ఉంటుంది వర్డ్స్ చూసినట్లయితే. సో ఇవన్నీ మీరు నోట్ చేసుకోవాల్సి ఉంటుంది, ఐ మీన్ జస్ట్ జనరల్ నాలెడ్జ్. సో చాలా బుక్స్ చదవండి, అండ్ దెన్ అనాలజీకి సెపరేట్ బుక్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఆల్రైట్, ఈ ప్రాక్టీస్ కంటే ఫస్ట్ ఈ రిలేషన్షిప్ ఉన్న వర్డ్స్ అనేది ఎక్కువ మీరు నేర్చుకోవాలి. సో వర్కర్ అండ్ ప్రోడక్ట్ పైన ఏమేమి ఉంటాయి అనేది మీరు ఒకసారి చెక్ చేసుకోవాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ఆల్రైట్, నౌ లెట్స్ సే యానిమల్ అండ్ యంగర్ వన్స్ అనేవి రిలేషన్షిప్ మీద ఎలా ఉంటాయి అనేది చూద్దాం. యానిమల్ అండ్ యంగర్ వన్స్. సో యానిమల్ అండ్ యంగర్ వన్స్. సో ఇవన్నీ మీరు స్కూల్ డేస్లో చదివిన ఒక టాపిక్స్. యానిమల్ అండ్ యంగర్ వన్స్ అంటే సి యానిమల్స్ అడల్ట్ ఏజ్లో వాటికి ఒక నేమ్స్. రిమెంబర్, యానిమల్స్ అడల్ట్ ఏజ్లో వాళ్ళకు ఒక నేమ్స్, అండ్ వాళ్ళ అది యంగ్ అంటే చిన్నప్పుడు ఉన్నప్పుడు వాళ్ళకి కొన్ని నేమ్స్ ఉంటాయి. చాలా యానిమల్స్కి ఉంటుంది. ఆల్రైట్, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ హ్యూమన్ బీయింగ్సే మీరు తీసుకోండి. ఆల్రైట్, హ్యూమన్ బీయింగ్స్కి ఏజ్ తగ్గట్టు మనం దాన్ని నేమ్ మార్చుకుంటూ వెళ్తాం. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇన్ఫాంట్ అంటాం. ఇన్ఫాంట్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఇన్ఫాంట్స్ లైక్ 3 years బిలో కిడ్స్ని, చాలా చిన్న ఏజ్లో 0 to 3 years అనేది ఇన్ఫాంట్స్ అంటాం. అండ్ దెన్ ఒక సర్టన్ ఏజ్ వరకు till 16 we call them as child, and after that after 16 years 16 to 25 adult, 16 25 or 30 adult అని చెప్పి ఇలా ఐ మీన్ బాయ్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చిన్న పిల్లాడు అయితే బాయ్, అండ్ చిన్న అమ్మాయి అయితే విల్ కాల్స్ గర్ల్, అండ్ దెన్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఆఫ్టర్ సమ్ టైమ్ మెన్, విమెన్, ఇలా మల్టిపుల్ థింగ్స్ ఉంటుంది. సో ఇప్పుడు యానిమల్స్కి ఎలా ఉంటుంది అనేది మనం చెక్ చేసుకోవాలి. సో యానిమల్స్ చూసినట్లయితే లెట్స్ స్టార్ట్ విత్ స్పైడర్. సో ఈ వర్డ్స్ అని మీకు కొత్తగా ఉండొచ్చు. ఆల్రైట్, బట్ ఐ రిక్వెస్ట్ యూ పీపుల్ టు లెర్న్ ఆల్ దిస్ యానిమల్స్ థింగ్. సో స్పైడర్. సో స్పైడర్ అంటే ఇట్స్ అడల్ట్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ అ స్పైడర్, అంటే బాగా గ్రోన్ అప్ వన్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ అ స్పైడర్. సో వాట్ ఇస్ అడల్ట్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ అస్ అ స్పైడర్. దాని యొక్క చిన్నతనంలో దాన్ని ఏమని చెప్పి పిలుస్తారు? ఇట్ ఇస్ సో సింపుల్, స్పైడర్లింగ్. సో ఇట్ ఇస్ స్పైడర్లింగ్. ద సేమ్ థింగ్, లెట్స్ స్టార్ట్ విత్ పిగ్. సో పిగ్ యొక్క యంగ్ స్టేజ్లో దాన్ని ఏమని పిలుస్తారు, దానికి ఒక నేమ్ ఉంది విచ్ వీ టు కాల్ ఇట్ అస్ పిగ్లెట్. ఆల్రైట్, నా లెట్స్ గో విత్ cow. Cow is calf. Cow is calf. And see, we still have some, ఈ కాఫ్ అనేటప్పుడు చాలా స్టూడెంట్స్ కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అయ్యేది ఏంటి అంటే, సో ఈ పర్టికులర్ ప్రొనౌన్సియేషన్కి కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అవుతారు. ఇది కాఫ్ అండ్ COUGH, దీన్ని కాఫ్ అని పిలుస్తాం. ప్లీజ్ ట్రై టు అండర్స్టాండ్, కాఫ్ ఇస్ whenever you say calf, it is CALF, is calf. అంటే కవ్కి మాత్రమే కాదు, చాలా అనిమల్స్కి కూడా కాఫ్ అనేది వాటి యంగర్ వన్స్ మనం పిలుస్తాం. దెన్ COUGH, ఇట్స్ నాట్ కాఫ్, ఇట్ ఇస్ కఫ్. Alright, the syrup what we drink when we get the cough is nothing but cough syrup, it's not cough syrup. So same thing here, if మీరు cough అంటే CALF అనేది వస్తుంది అంటే cough. Okay, and cough కాదు, it's completely different. Cough is CALF, cough means COUGH. So here it is cough. Alright, next మనం చూసినట్లయితే let's say let's start with tiger. So the younger one, so tiger is adult one, am I right? So how we call small, before we get into tiger, let's think about horse. So horse అనేది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్, ఇది frequent గా as questions లో ఉంటుంది. So horse is nothing but pony. Horse is nothing but pony. All right, so horse అనేది ఒక adult, ఒక adult fully grown up one ని మనం we call it as horse, but a small younger చిన్న horses మీరు చూసినట్లయితే it is actually pony. And then now tiger. So tiger యొక్క younger ones మీరు చూసినట్లయితే it is tiger is the grown up one and cub is the smaller one. Alright, tiger is the younger one and cub is the smaller one. So you need to understand the relationship between these words and also animal and younger ones ni practice cheyandi. And then we need to understand male and female. So male and female we know it for male and female human beings ki maatrame మనం చెప్తాము, no animals ki kuda male and female. So most probably ఇవన్నీ exams or repeated questions మీరు చూసినట్లయితే male and female. Alright, male and female relationship. Male and female. So male and female relationship. సో మేల్ అండ్ ఫీమేల్ రిలేషన్షిప్లో మీరు చూసినట్లయితే ఫ్రీక్వెంట్లీ ఎలాంటి క్వశ్చన్స్ అడుగుతూ ఎలాంటి వాటి మీద ఉంటుందంటే, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ లెట్స్ స్టార్ట్ విత్ టైగర్. సో టైగర్ మనం ఇంతకు చూసాం కదా. సో టైగర్ యొక్క ఫీమేల్ వర్షన్ ఏంటి? సో మనం యూజువల్గా డే టు డే బేసిస్లో ఇవన్నీ మనం యూస్ చేయట్లేదు, బట్ వీ నీడ్ టు. సో కామన్గా మేల్ అయినా ఫీమేల్ అయినా వీ కాల్ దమ్ బై ద సేమ్ నేమ్ టైగర్, బట్ వీ హ్యావ్ అ సెపరేట్ నేమ్ ఫర్ దస్ విచ్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ tigress. So male and female, tiger is male one and tigress is a female one. Let's go with lion. Lion is once again male is nothing but a lion. Let's say what if you see a female one? So female one is a lioness. Now I'm going to same thing here, horse. Alright, horse once again it's a male one. Alright, what do you call a female horse? Most of us we don't know what is a female horse, which is nothing but mare, MARE, which is a female. Alright, horse is actually a male, mare is nothing but a female. Alright, let's go with stag. And stag, see this is a male one and then what is a female one? First, what does mean by a stag? See, ఇది మీరు చాలా ప్లేసెస్లో చూడొచ్చు. కొన్ని పబ్స్ ఇలాంటి వాటి క్లబ్స్కి పబ్స్కి బయట వేసింటారు ఓన్లీ స్టాగ్ ఎంట్రీ నాట్ అలౌడ్, స్టాగ్స్ నాట్ అలౌడ్, ఇలాంటి బోర్డ్స్ మీరు చూడొచ్చు. అండ్ స్టాగ్స్ అనేది చాలా మీనింగ్స్ ఉన్నాయి, మల్టిపుల్ మీనింగ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. సో ఎగ్జాక్ట్గా వాట్ ఇస్ మీన్ బై స్టాగ్ అంటే ఇట్స్ యాక్చువల్లీ అ మేల్ డియర్. ఓకే, మగ జింక్ అని ఇట్స్ లైక్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ అ స్టాగ్. బట్ వేర్ యాజ్ అండ్ అన్మ్యారీడ్ అ బ్యాచులర్ని కూడా స్టాగ్ అని చెప్పి పిలవచ్చు. ఇట్స్ సెకండరీ అండ్ టెర్షరీ మీనింగ్స్లో వస్తుంది, కలోకియల్ టర్మ్ అది. సో స్టాగ్ అంటే ఇట్స్ యాక్చువల్లీ అ మేల్ డియర్, బట్ వన్స్ అగైన్ బ్యాచులర్ని స్టాగ్ గాను రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తారు. స్టాగ్స్ నాట్ అలౌడ్ అంటే ఇట్స్ లైక్ గ్రూప్ ఆఫ్ మెన్ హు ఆర్ నాట్ మ్యారీడ్, అన్మ్యారీడ్ మెన్, లైక్ గ్రూప్ ఆఫ్ మెన్ ఇస్ ఆల్సో కాల్డ్ యాజ్ అ stag. And bachelor's party, very common word used nowadays. Bachelor's party, which is nothing but stag's party, that is okay. Stag is nothing but group of men and it. Alright, so stag is a సో ప్రైమరీ మీనింగ్ చూసినట్లయితే స్ట్రాగ్ ఇస్ అ మేల్ వన్ అండ్ మగ జింక్ అవుతుంది. సో మేల్ డియర్ ఇట్ ఇస్. సో ఫీమేల్ ఇట్స్ కాల్డ్ అస్ డో. Female one it's called as doe. So male and female. All right, so this is how it works. సో ఇలాంటి వర్డ్స్ అనేది మీరు చాలా నేర్చుకోవాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ఈ వర్డ్స్ని బేస్ చేసుకొని మీకు రిలేషన్షిప్స్ అనేది అండ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అనేది ఫామ్ అవుతుంది. సో నేను మీకు ఇప్పుడు కొన్ని క్వశ్చన్స్ మనం ప్రాక్టీస్కి చూస్తాం. ఆ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఏంటంటే లెట్స్ స్టార్ట్ విత్ ద ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్. క్వశ్చన్ నెంబర్ 1. Question number 1, let's start with ఓకే. సో ఎంతసేపు రిలేషన్షిప్స్ చూసాం కదా, ఇప్పుడు కొన్ని ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ చూద్దాం ఎలా వర్క్ అవుతుందని చెప్పి. సో బుల్లెట్ పాత్, అవునా, క్వశ్చన్ ఒకసారి చూడండి. బుల్లెట్ పాత్ ప్రొజెక్టైల్ క్వశ్చన్ మార్క్. సో ఇట్స్ అ ర్యాండమ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. ఓకే, సో బుల్లెట్ అనేది పాత్కి బుల్లెట్కి ఏంటి, ప్రొజెక్టైల్కి ఇస్తూ క్వశ్చన్ మార్క్ అనేది ఏంటి అని మనం చెక్ చేయాలి. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ సో సింపుల్. ఇఫ్ ద బుల్లెట్ ఇస్ బీయింగ్ ఫైర్డ్, లెట్స్ ఒక బుల్లెట్ ఫైర్ అయినప్పుడు, ట్రై టు అండర్స్టాండ్, ఒక బుల్లెట్ ఫైర్ అయినప్పుడు డెఫినెట్లీ ఇట్ ఫాలోస్ పర్టికులర్ పాత్. ఆల్రైట్, సో దీనికి ఒక పాత్ అంటాం. ఆల్రైట్, అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం ఒక ప్రొజెక్టైల్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ అ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ మిసైల్. ఇది మిసైల్ అనేది లాంచ్ చేసినప్పుడు, రిమెంబర్ ఒక మిసైల్ అనేది లాంచ్ చేసినప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే ఒక పర్టికులర్ పాత్ని అది ఇట్లా ఫాలో అవుతుంది. ఐమ్ రైట్? ఒక మిసైల్ అనేది ఫైర్ అయినప్పుడు, మిసైల్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ప్రొజెక్టైల్ అంటాం. దాని యొక్క పాత్ మీరు చూసినట్లయితే అది ఇలా ఒక పారాబోలిక్ షేప్ని తీసుకుంటుంది. దిస్ ఇస్ హౌ ఇట్ గోస్. సో ఇది పారాబోలిక్ షేప్ అనేది, దిస్ ఇస్ హౌ వీ కాల్ ఇట్, బట్ దర్ ఇస్ అ స్పెసిఫిక్ నేమ్ ఫర్ దట్ పారాబోలిక్ పాత్. ఇట్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ట్రాజెక్టరీ. ఓకే, రిమెంబర్ దిస్, ట్రాజెక్టరీ. ప్రొజెక్టైల్ hyphen, it is trajectory in the sense, okay, a parabolic path ne manam trajectory అని తీసుకుంటాం. Remember this. Now next question. So next question, let's see another example. ఇంకోటి చూస్తాం. So ignore notice. So a example చూడండి, ignore notice. Okay, ignore and then notice. Next, cordial. So ignore notice cordial question mark. What's going to be the answer? So first thing, let's understand what is the difference between ignore and notice. Alright, what is the relationship between ignore and notice? It is so simple. Ignore ante enti, pattichukoకుండా పోవడం. Notice ante దాన్ని పట్టించుకోవడం, తెలుసుకోవడం. Am I right? So this is nothing but antonym. Antonym ante it's an opposite. Am I right? So ignore యొక్క opposite ఏంటంటే notice. So cordial. సో కార్డియల్కి ఇక్కడ ఏంటి, సేమ్ థింగ్, యాంటోనిమ్ అప్లై చేయాలి, అంటే ఆపోజిట్ అనేది మీరు చెక్ చేయాల్సుకోవాల్సి ఉంది. సో ఫస్ట్ థింగ్, వెన్ ఎవర్ యూ సీ ద క్వశ్చన్స్, ఆ రిలేషన్షిప్ని మనం చూసినట్లయితే మనం ఎగ్జాక్ట్గా ఏది అని చెప్పి ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయొచ్చు. సో ఇగ్నోర్ నోటిస్ కార్డియల్ అంటే ఏంటి. సో ఫస్ట్ థింగ్, ఇది మీకు సాల్వ్ చేయాలి అంటే కార్డియల్ అంటే ఏంటి అనేది మీకు తెలియాలి. కార్డియల్ అంటే సో సింపుల్, మీరు వెడ్డింగ్ ఇన్విటేషన్స్లో మీరు చూడొచ్చు, రిక్వెస్ట్ వి కార్డియలీ ఇన్వైట్ యూ, ఇన్ ద సెన్స్ లైక్ హంబ్లీ. ఆల్ రైట్, సో మనం రిక్వెస్ట్ చేసి పిలిచేటప్పుడు వీ యూజ్ సర్టెన్ వర్డ్స్ కాల్డ్ కార్డియలీ. మీరు ఏ వెడ్డింగ్ ఇన్విటేషన్స్ చూసినా వీ కార్డియలీ ఇన్వైట్ యూ అనే వర్డ్ ఉంటుంది. సో దానికి ఆపోజిట్ ఏంటి? ఆల్ రైట్, కార్డియలీ యాంటోనిమ్ అంటే ఇట్స్ ఆపోజిట్. సో ఇగ్నోర్ ఆపోజిట్ నోటీస్. సో కార్డియల్కి ఆపోజిట్ ఏంటి? ఇట్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ హాస్టైల్. హాస్టైల్ అంటే మీకు తెలుసు, యూజువల్గా నేను హోస్టైల్స్ అంటే ఏంటంటే, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మీకు ఫ్లైట్ హైజాగ్ అయింది, అప్పుడు లోపల కూర్చునే ప్యాసింజర్స్ని హోస్టైల్స్ అంటారు. అంటే లైక్ బానిసత్వం లాగా మిమ్మల్ని కూర్చోబెట్టి టార్చర్ చేయడాన్ని, ఒక ప్లేస్లో మిమ్మల్ని తగులుకొని మీరు బానిసత్వం వహించడం, దాన్ని ఏమంటారు అంటే హాస్టైల్ అంటారు. సో కార్డియల్ అంటే రిక్వైర్డ్, హంబుల్ అనేది దానికి ఆపోజిట్ అంటే హాస్టైల్, అంటే టార్చర్ పెట్టి మిమ్మల్ని సరిగ్గా ట్రీట్ చేయకపోవడాన్ని హాస్టైల్ అంటారు. లెట్స్ సీ ద నెక్స్ట్ క్వశ్చన్. ఇఫ్ యూ సీ ద నెక్స్ట్ క్వశ్చన్, ఇట్స్ ఆల్ అబౌట్ బెస్ట్ worst. Best, worst, sink, question mark. Best, worst, sink, question mark. So best, worst, sink, question mark. It is so simple. Once again, it is easy. See here, బెస్ట్ వర్స్ట్ ఏంటి వన్స్ అగైన్ యాంటోనిమ్ కింద వస్తుంది. సో బెస్ట్ వర్స్ట్ అనేది మీరు చూసినట్లయితే ఇవి రెండు ఆపోజిట్స్ అవునా. బెస్ట్ వర్స్ట్ దీని రిలేషన్షిప్ ఏముంది ఆపోజిట్. సో సింక్ అంటే మునిగిపోవడం, దీనికి ఆపోజిట్ ఏమవుతుంది ఇట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి ఫ్లోట్. ఇట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి ఫ్లోట్. దెన్ నెక్స్ట్ మీరు చూడండి సాలిసిట్. సాలిసిట్ రిక్వెస్ట్. solicit request. Then presume question mark. I repeat, solicit request, screen ఒకసారి చూడండి, solicit request and then presume what is that? So it is so simple. Solicit request అంటే it is a meaning here. ఇట్స్ అ మీనింగ్, సినోనిమ్ అంటాం కదా ఇంగ్లీష్లో మనం, సినోనిమ్ అంటాం. అంటే సాలిసిట్ యొక్క మీనింగ్ ఏంటంటే రిక్వెస్ట్. సాలిసిట్ అన్న రిక్వెస్ట్ అన్న రెండు ఒకటే. ఆల్రైట్. సో ప్రిజ్యూమ్ అనేది ఏంటి అంటే ఇట్స్ నథింగ్ బట్ దీని ప్రిజ్యూమ్ యొక్క మీనింగ్ మీరు చెక్ చేయాలి. ప్రిజ్యూమ్ యొక్క మీనింగ్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ అజ్యూమ్. ఆల్రైట్. అజంప్షన్, ఇమాజినేషన్ చేసుకుని అనుకుంటాం కదా, లెట్స్ అజ్యూమ్ అని మ్యాథమెటిక్స్లో మనం చెప్తాం. సో ప్రిజ్యూమ్ అన్న అజ్యూమ్ అన్న ఒకటే. ఆల్రైట్. నా సో హియర్ ద రిలేషన్షిప్ ఇస్ ఆల్ అబౌట్ మీనింగ్ అంటే సినోనిమ్. సో సాలిసిట్ రిక్వెస్ట్కి రిలేషన్షిప్ అంటే సినోనిమ్ అంటే దీని యొక్క మీనింగ్ ఏది అంటే ప్రిజ్యూమ్ యొక్క మీనింగ్ ఏంటి అనేది మీరు చూసినట్లయితే అజ్యూమ్. ఓకే. సో లెట్స్ సీ వన్ మోర్ క్వశ్చన్. సో లెట్స్ సీ వన్ మోర్ క్వశ్చన్. ఇప్పుడు మీరు చూసినట్లయితే సి లైన్, స్క్వేర్, లైన్, స్క్వేర్, arc, question mark. Line, square, arc, question mark. So for this type of questions I'm going to give you options, which is ring, please make a note, which is ring, and second one is sphere, and third one is circle, and fourth one is the D is ball. I repeat the question, just have a look at it. Line, colon, square, proportion, arc, question mark. Am I right? So what are the options here? Ring, sphere, circle, and then what is that? Ball. Okay. Now what is this? How we are going to solve this particular question? Now ఒకసారి మీ స్క్రీన్ చూసినట్టయితే see line square అనేది ఏంటి అని మీరు చూడండి. లైన్ స్క్వేర్ అంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ సో సింపుల్. లైన్ స్క్వేర్ అంటే లైన్ని బేస్ చేసుకొని స్క్వేర్ అనేది ఫామ్ అవుతుంది. అంటే స్క్వేర్లో ఏముంటుంది మీరు చూసినట్లయితే ఇట్స్ కంపోజ్డ్ ఆఫ్ 4 lines. Am I right? So let's say if this is square, this is one line and this is two line, second line, this is the third line and this is the fourth line. So line is nothing but square has 4 straight lines. 4 straight lines forms a square. Now form a square. Now arc forms what? Ring or sphere or circle or ball. It is so simple. We know that arc forms a circle. For example, semicircle lo idi enti, it's an arc అని చెప్పి అంటాం కదా. So multiple arcs, multiple semicircles forms a complete circle. So it is so simple, it is a circle. Now let's see the last question. Calendar. Alright, so we have discussed the calendars topic as well last day. So let's talk about calendars. Okay, so let's see another example. Calendar. Calendar, dates, proportion. Calendar, dates, proportion, dictionary. Question mark. Calendar, calendar colon dates proportion dictionary question mark. So calendar dates అంటే ఏంటంటే see calendars లో మీకు ఏముంటుంది, calendars లో dates ఉంటుంది. Am I right? Now dictionary లో ఏముంటుంది? I'm going to give you the options. Words, vocabulary, words, vocabulary, language, and D it is going to be book. Alright, so simple. Calendar dates అయితే dictionary ఏమవుతుంది. So it is so simple. So calendar లో ఏముంటుంది, dates ఉంటుంది. So dictionary లో ఏముంటుంది, obviously words ఉంటుంది. Alright, it's not vocabulary, it's all about the words and its meanings ఉంటుంది. Alright, so this is how it works. So మీరు ఇలాంటి questions ని సాల్వ్ చేయాలి, analogy questions సాల్వ్ చేసుకోవాలంటే you need to understand the relationship. So ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే presence, calendar is composed of what? Calendar is composed of dates. మొత్తం dates ని కంపోజ్ చేసే calendar ఉంటుంది, words ని కంపోజ్ చేసే dictionary ఉంటుంది. So it's all about the understanding the relationship between A and B. So నేను మీకు ఏం చెప్పాను, దీని A, ఇది B and ఇది C గా మీరు కన్సిడర్ చేసుకోవాలి. సో A, B రిలేషన్షిప్ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేసి ఇదే రిలేషన్షిప్ని Cకి అప్లై చేస్తే you'll get the answer D out of this 4 options. Alright, so I hope you understand, but it needs a lots of practice. It's like You cannot learn within a day. It's all about your practice. Try to practice as much as you can and try to learn the new words. Start reading the dictionary, start reading the newspapers. You'll get to know lots of new words, vocabulary. Try to understand the meaning, pronunciation, everything. It will definitely help you to solve the questions. If you have any doubts or questions in this particular topic, just please post in the comment section so that I'll help you out which are the books.
Good afternoon, students, and in this today's lesson we will see the remaining input types. In the input tag we have different types of options available. Earlier in the previous lessons we have already seen the text, password, checkbox, radio button, submit button, several types of input types already we have seen, and HTML supports some newly introduced input types also. So, those remaining input types we are trying to understand in this today's lesson. Now, let us try to start. So, what are the new input types of HTML? Let us try to understand. First, we have text. It is used to accept a text box. If you want to create a text box, we have to use input type equal to text. Input type equal to text is used to create a new text box, which is used to accept some text information. And also we have password, which is used to create a password text box. And also we have checkbox. If you want to display yes or no type of option, we have to use checkbox, yes or no type of option. Also we have radio to display a set of options to user and allow the user to display any one of them, to select any one of them. For example, you want to allow the user to select any one payment mode out of 3 options: debit card, credit card, net banking. Any one should be selected. In this case, we have to use radio button. And also we have file. In order to create a file browse button. And to create submit button, we have to use input type equal to submit. The submit button is used to submit or send the data to server. And also we have reset button in order to clear the text box values. To clear all the text box values, we have to use reset button. Similarly, we have color to accept a color, to select the color. For example, I want to display the list of colors and allow the user to choose a particular color, and I want to apply that color as a background color for the web page. In this case, we have to use color option. Similarly, we have date to allow the user to choose a date. For example, date of journey or date of joining or date of leaving. To allow the user to select a date, we have to use date selection. We have to use input type equal to date. To allow the user to choose the time, we have to use input type equal to time. And similarly, if you want to accept a number, we have to use input type equal to number. To accept a numerical value, we have to use input type equal to number. Same like this. To accept email address, we have to use input type equal to email. Okay, these are some of the important input types available in input tag. So, I want to demonstrate all these input types inside one HTML program. And moreover, I would like to place the label and text box in a separate table. Means I want to take a table like this, and in this particular table, I would like to prepare some rows. We have a table with some rows, and in every row, I want to place some 2 cells. 2 cells we are going to place in every row, and in the first cell I want to place label. In the second cell I want to place the text box. Similarly, in all the remaining cells I want to place labels. Here I want to place the text box, even below rows also. So, once you create the table, what is the benefit for you? You will be able to get the complete real time look and feel. That means the proper alignment you will get. So, in order to align the text boxes properly, it is recommended to place them inside the table tag. Now, first we have to learn how to create the tables. To create the tables, what is required is table tags required. What are the table tags required for us? To create the table, we require the table tag represents the entire table. TR represents a table row. TD represents table cell. To represent the complete table, we have table tag. To represent a row inside the table, we have to use TR. To represent a cell inside the row, we have to use TD. So, table, TR, TD, 3 cells we have available, 3 tags we have. So, for example, this entire table is going to be represented as table tag, and only this particular row represented as TR tag. In this TR, only this specific cell is represented as TD tag. Okay, whole table is table tag, a single row is a TR, and a single cell is a TD tag. TR stands for table row, TD stands for table cell. So, in real time applications, in many places we have to use tables. For example, I want to display the student mark sheet. What are the contents of the student mark sheet? Student roll number, student name, and corresponding subject code, subject name, marks, grade, all these details I want to display. So, the student mark sheet is an example of table. Similarly, I want to display the bank transactions, date, the transaction description, the debit amount, credit amount, and the balance. Similarly, I want to display the election results or cricket scoreboard, or any other tabular information can be displayed by using table tags. In order to create the table tags, what are the tags available for us? 3 tags available: table, TR, TD, mainly 3 tags. The table tag represents the complete table, whole table, and the TR tag is representing the particular row, a single row represented as TR tag, and a specific TD is representing the table cell. Okay, these are the 3 points that we have to understand. Now, let us see how to create the table, and then we will integrate the form inside the table. Previously, we have created a form in the last lesson. Now, we are going to create a table. Now, we are going to merge both the form and the table also. Now, let us try to understand the program. Okay, so here first we have to create a table. First HTML program begins, HTML program ends. Inside the HTML, we have to place head and body. Now, let us save this table.html. Where we have to save this? In C:\HTML folder, we have to save it. Okay, we have created table.html, and then heading is table. In order to execute it, go to the particular folder, double click on the file to run. Now, we can see just the table, just a name like table is displayed. But in this particular thing, I want to display the table really. So, we have to place the table tag. Only by placing table tag, there is no any meaningful output. Inside the table, we have to specify some rows. TR, this is one row, again another row, again another row. N number of rows can be created like this, but still there is no output, as we have to place the cells inside the table row. I want to place 2 cells in each row. So, for example, 1 and 2. So, now we can see 1 and 2. But is it look like a table really? No, it doesn't look like a table. We have to convert this particular table into a bordered table. How to display the border for the table? We have to give table border is equal to 1. When we have specified border equal to 1, now the borders will be added for the table. Now we can see the table with border. Okay. Now let's add some more cells in the remaining 2 rows also. Okay, we have created 3 rows with respect to cells. In every row we have 2 cells. For example, in this particular row we have cell number 1 and cell number 2. I told you already the TR tag is representing the row, the TD tag representing the single cell. Okay, here I would like to place 3 and 4, 5, 6. That's all. So, as per this particular program, the expected output is like this. So, behalf of this particular TR tag, okay, as a result, you will get 1 row. In this particular row, there are 2 cells. In the first cell, we can see 1. The second cell, we can see 2. Similarly, behalf of this particular TR, another row we can expect. And in this particular row, again we have 2 cells. In the first cell we have 3, in the second cell we have 4, and the same way 5 and 6 also we can assume. So, every row represented as TR, every cell represented as a TD inside it. So, in this program, now we can see a simple table with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I would like to convert this particular basic table into the form. I want to place a real-time registration form, suppose a student registration form for the university. So, first I want to place a form tag. Inside the form tag, we have to place the table tag. Now, the table is a part of the form. Now, the table is a part of the form. Inside the form tag, we have table tag. Now, inside this particular table, in this particular cell exactly, I want to place a label. To specify the label, we have to use label tag. Let me place in the next line. Okay, so here exactly we are ready to place a label. So, label for T1. T1 indicates ID of the text box. So, name you want to accept. So, the first TD is complete. Now, coming to the second TD, here we are going to place the actual text box. To place actual text box, we have to use input type equal to text. Input type equal to text will allow you to accept the name. Now, we can see the name, and in the next row I am going to place another TD. In the second TD we are going to place another label, that is T2 email. To accept the email address, we are going to place input type equal to email. Okay, here in this second TD I am going to place the input type equal to email. For this, what is the ID is required? For the first one, ID is T1, second one ID is equal to T2. Okay. So, we have created 2 rows. Now, we can see both text boxes are neatly aligned. Okay. Now we can see the next one. I want to place amount field I would like to place. So, to place the amount, we have to place another label for T3 amount we are going to place. How to accept the amount? Since amount means a numerical field, we have to use input type equal to number. So, for this we have to use input type equal to number. ID is equal to T3. T for text box. Instead of T1, T2, T3, we can give any other names. Okay, let's close this TR. Even this one. Now, like this we have created, but the benefit of using the table here is once we have removed this particular border, now you can notice the text boxes are neatly aligned. Previously, yesterday also we have created the similar kind of form, but the difference is the alignment was not good as we have not used any table. In case if you want to bring the neat alignment for the text boxes, we have to place the form inside the table. So, have a look at once. First we have to place the form. Inside the form we have to use table. Inside the table we have to use rows. The first row contains 2 cells. The first cell contains the label, second cell contains the text box. Second row. In the second row, first cell contains the email label, second cell contains the email text box. Third row. Third row contains, first cell contains the amount label, second cell contains the number text box. And you can say in the same way we can repeat remaining. Now, you can also place the reset button and submit button. The purpose of reset button is to clear the text box values, we have to use reset button. Let's add the reset button. First a TR. In the first TD, I am going to place reset button. Input type equal to reset. Once we have placed the input type equal to reset, we are getting a reset button here. So, once we click on reset button, what happens is all the values that we have entered in the respective text boxes will be automatically clear. See, the text boxes are clear once we click on reset button. And also we have another type of button, that is input type equal to submit. Input type equal to submit is used to submit the form. Submit. If you want to submit the form to the server, we have to use submit. Generally, to where we submit. So, generally speaking, in every form, submit button is common. For example, below the login form, we have to display login, that is submit button. Below the registration form, we have to display register submit button. Below every form, submit button is common. Once the user clicks on submit button, what of the values that are entered in the text boxes and maybe check boxes or radio buttons too, all these values will be sent to the server. On the server side, some other program is going to execute. That type of program is called as server side program. Server side program will receive the values and will insert the same into database. The server side programs generally developed based on server side programming languages such as Java, PHP or Python or Node.js, etc. But here we are not going to create any Python or .NET program. Here we are going to create a submit button in order to submit the data to server. Okay. To create the submit button, we are going to use input type equal to submit. But there is a disadvantage in the input type equal to submit, that is, it will not allow any images. Suppose I want to place an image as a submit button. To display the image as a submit button, alternatively we have to use button tag. Actually, for not only for image, if you want to place text or image or sometimes both, for any case the button tag will be helpful for you in order to display the any text or image as a submit button. We have to use button tag. So, always instead of using input type equal to submit, button tag is however recommended in real time projects. Now, let us see how to work with the button tag. Here we are going to place the button tag. Inside the button tag also we can place any text, for example, register. We can place any text here. So, that is going to be appear. But instead of this plain text like a register, I want to display an image as a submit button. To display the image, we have to use img tag here. First, let me copy paste the image. So, I am just having some sample images first. Okay, here we have an image called ok.png. I want to use this image as a submit button. So, first we have to copy this particular image and paste here. So, what is the file name we have? ok.png. Now, I want to display the ok.png inside the button. So, here what tag we have to use to display image? img tag, img src equal to the ok.png. Now, inside the button we can notice the image is there, text is there, both can be displayed. To go to next line, we are using br. Actually, the basic point is the button tag is a container. Inside the button tag we can place any content including image or text or else any other HTML tag we can place inside the button tag. Now, we can just refresh and execute. Now, it is displaying the image and text, but image size is a bit large image. However, we can reduce the size by using width that is equal to, for example, we are providing 20 pixels. Now, we can notice the image width is reduced. We can even decrease more, for example, 15 pixels. Okay, that could be enough. So, in order to display the image plus text, we have to use button tag. Only for image also we can use, only for text also we can use the button tag. And when we click on this button, this particular data values will be submitted to server. In order to submit the values, compulsory we have to provide the name attribute. So, for all these fields we have to add the name attribute. For example, name is equal to person name. Here also name is equal to email. Here name is equal to amount. What is the benefit of providing the name? The names only will be submitted to server when we click on submit button. For example, I am entering abc @gmail.com 1000. Once we have entered these values and click on submit, we can hello. Okay. Now, we can see the values are being submitted. So, person name is equal to ABC, email equal to abc@gmail.com. Here person name is a name, ABC is a value. Okay. So, as we want to submit the data to server, we have to use names and values. Okay. Also, let us create a search box. To create the search box, we have to use input type equal to search. Generally, at the top of the form, we have to use search box. Suppose below the heading, I am going to create search box. Input type equal to search. Now, we can see the search. Also, in order to place the text inside the search box, we have to use placeholder. Placeholder is equal to search. Now, the placeholder is displayed here. Now, the benefit of search box is, if you open the same page in Chrome, for example, open with Chrome. After typing some text in the search box, automatically if you notice here in the right hand side, we can see into mark in order to clear the text box. See, if once you click on this, the text box will be clear. Okay, in case of search box, automatically we are getting the clear button to clear the text box value. Okay. And when we open the page, in which text box the cursor is appear? By default, the cursor is not appear anywhere. Now, I want to place the cursor directly inside the name text box. In order to place the cursor inside the name text box, what exactly we have to use? For the name text box, we have to use autofocus is equal to autofocus. By placing an attribute called autofocus is equal to autofocus, now we can notice when you open the page, by default the cursor is appear in the name text box. Why it is appear in the name text box only? Because for that particular text box we have given autofocus is equal to autofocus. In other words, for which text box you want to place the cursor by default, for that particular text box only we have to give autofocus equal to autofocus. Next, so for this amount value, for this amount I want to specify some default value. To specify the default value, we have to use value attribute. To specify the default value, we have to use value attribute. For example, I am saying 1000. 1000 is default value. So when you open the page itself, by default, automatically it is showing 1000. And I don't want to allow the user to modify the value. To disable modification, we have to add an attribute called disabled equal to disabled. Once we have given disabled equal to disabled, then that particular text box value becomes disabled. Now the user is no longer able to modify the value. I am just increasing or decreasing, I am trying to type something, we are unable to type anything in the amount text box because it is completely disabled. Okay, now I want to place a drop down list inside the form. How to create the drop down list? We can create the drop down list by using select tag. Okay, let's place, for example, a row. I want to place a set of options like payment mode. Under payment mode, we have three options: debit card, credit card, net banking. I want to place these three options as a drop down list. When the user clicks on this particular drop down list, then only these three options should be appear, not directly like this. So how to create as a drop down list? First we have to place a select tag. By placing the select tag, we can see a drop down list is appear. Inside the drop down list, I am going to place the option tags. For every item we have to place one option tag. How many options we have? 3 options. So we have to place 3 option tags. For one option tag we have to use. As we have 3 options, we have to place 3 option tags. Okay, so 3 options tags we have created. Out of these 3, any one can be selected by user. So we have given 3 option tags. I just open this. See, by default we can see 3 options and user can select any one of these options. So to create the radio button, to create the drop down list, we have to use select tag. And for this select tag also, it is required to give name. Name is equal to payment mode. So the benefit of giving the name is the selected value will be submitted to server. You can notice, for example, I am selecting credit card. After selecting credit card, after click on submit button, we can notice the payment mode also will be submitted to server. We can notice in the notepad, payment mode also will be submitted automatically to server. Okay, I want to create a multi-line text box where the user can enter multiple lines. For example, comments. Okay, how to create such that we have to place, first let's place one row, comments. So if you are placing input type equal to text, input type equal to text, the problem is we are accepting only single line of comments. but I want to accept multiple lines of comments. To accept the multiple lines of comments, we have to use text area tag. Text area tag. Once we have placed a text area tag, we are able to see multiple lines of comments. So, user can type multiple lines of text. To accept the multiple lines of text, we have to use text area tag. Okay. Now, I want to place all these things, all these fields inside a box. I want to visualize a box like this. In order to place them inside a box, we have to place field set. So, at the beginning of the form, I have just added a field set. Inside the field set only, I am going to place all this table. I just cut this particular table and paste it inside the field set. Now, we can notice the program very clearly. First, we have a form. Inside the form, we have a field set. Inside the field set, we have a table. All these TR, TD tags are now inside the table. So, after completion of all the rows together, finally, we have closed the field set. After closing the field set, then finally, we have to close the form. The benefit of field set is we can see a box surrounding the form, so that it will be understandable for the developer, for the users. And we can also display some heading for the field set. To specify the heading, we have to add legend tag. The legend tag is used to specify the heading for the field set. I am just using legend, for example, personal details. So, this will be the heading for the field set. Now, we can notice the heading personal details displayed as a field set. So, to display the group, in order to group up the text boxes and to display the heading, we have to use field set. What is the structure we have to follow? Check it. First, we have to place the body. Inside the body, we have to place form. Inside the form, we have to place field set. Inside the field set, legend, and then followed by a table. And inside the table, n number of tiers. First tier, name. Second tier, email. Third tier, amount. Next tier, payment mode. Again, next tier, comments. We can place any number of tier tags. So, finally, we have to close the table, then we have to close the field set, then we have to close the form. Finally, body tag close. So, this is how we are going to create. Right. Next, I want to specify the maximum number of characters that you want to accept inside the text box. By default, in a text box, we can type any number of characters. There is no limit. To specify the number of characters inside the text box, we have to specify max length is equal to some number of characters, for example, 30, which means that only 30 characters are allowed maximum, only 30 characters. So, I am typing more than 30 here, it is not placing anymore. I am typing here, it is not placing because we have given a limit of 30, so it will accept up to 30 characters. And also, in order to make the text boxes mandatory, compulsory to enter, we can add required equal to required. If you mention required equal to required, then it is must to enter the value, it cannot be blank. So, we have just added required equal to required for the name text box. So, that particular text box is mandatory. So, if you do not enter the name, it will show error message like this. Similarly, if you want, you can also add the required attribute for all the remaining tags also, including for email, payment mode, comments, everything. Okay. Now, I want to let you know how to create option groups. What is the meaning of option group? Option groups are used to divide the options into multiple categories. For example, assume we have a list of banks, and out of the n number of banks, hundreds of banks, I want to display the group of banks. For example, I want to display like this, top banks. Under top banks, I want to display the popular banks like SBI, ICICI, etc. Under other banks, I want to display the remaining banks. So, the most important banks I want to display in one category, that is called one option group. Remaining banks I want to display in other category, so that is other option group. So, in order to group up the option tags, we have to use OPT group tag. This is one option group, this is another option group. Okay, right. Now, let us place it. So, just here I am just adding a new TR. Here I am going to place bank, and now we are going to place a select tag. What are the list of banks? I am going to place the list of banks like State Bank of India, and some other different banks I am trying to place with the different option tags. ICICI Bank, okay, HDFC Bank, Bank of India, Indian Overseas Bank. Like this, I just placed a different set of banks. Now, I want to display all these banks in a categorized format instead of in a plain text, plain format. So, I want to group up the first 3 banks as one group, and I want to place the remaining into other group. So, how do we group them? We have to place them inside the respective option group tag. So, first, in order to do so, first we have to place OPT group label is equal to some heading is required. For example, we are going to place it inside top banks. Under top banks, we are displaying all these banks. All these first 3 banks are now inside the top banks category. All remaining banks are under other category. For example, OPT group, again label is equal to, the label is other banks. So, inside the other banks, we are going to place the option tags. Now, the concept is very clear, just very simple. Just we have to place the select tag. Inside the select tag, we have to place the first option group, then we have to place the second option group. The first option group has a heading that is top banks. So, here in the output, under top banks, these banks are being displayed: SBI, ICICI and HDFC. And coming to the second option group, that is other banks. Under the other banks, you want to display the remaining banks like Andhra Bank, Bank of India and so on. So, now it will be very easy to understand for the user point of view. So, if you have too many number of options, it is recommended to use the option group. Okay. So, we have been seen from the last 2 days, yesterday and today, mainly we have seen different types of form elements like input tag, text area, select, option, OPT group, label, button, different types of form tags. All these are used to create different types of forms for different purposes like a login form, registration form, change password form, different types of forms we can try to display. So, and also we have different types of other HTML tags. For example, we have list tags, table tags, and also we have different types of tags, audio tag, video tag, etc. So, we are going to see the remaining set of HTML tags in the further lessons. So, but in the HTML, one point we have to keep in mind, the HTML only meant for creating elements. If you are expecting how to apply the colors, styles, like how to beautify the elements, we cannot do that by using HTML. All the styling part come under the CSS. We have to use CSS wherever required, then only we can make the web page beautiful and attractive. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to today's session once again. So we are continuing with the TCS pattern, I'm going to explain the entire online assessment pattern first. This is for the benefit of those who did not attend the session for last 2 days. And then I will move on to one more sample of how to write an effective email. All right, so let's begin. Here is your pattern which you can expect for the online assessment. You will have 4 sections. The first one being email writing skills, then you have quantitative aptitude, TCS program C language. You will have multiple choice questions there. Then you have a coding test, which is going to be descriptive, where you need to write the entire code. Now let's look at the details. The number of questions for email is just 1. You just need to write 1 email. I will show you how the email question will look like. The time allotted is 10 minutes. You need to write the email within 10 minutes. Then you have quantitative aptitude. You will have 20 questions. The duration is 40 minutes, 2 minutes per question. And there are 2 questions which is star marked. I will tell you what do you mean by star marked very soon. Then you have the C program, multiple choice question. You have 10 questions there, 20 minutes, which means 2 minutes each. You do not have any star mark questions there. And coding test, you need to write a code based on the questions given, and the time allotted is 20 minutes. Now, there is an important aspect which you need to remember, which is in terms of negative marking. So how much marks will you lose in case if you give a wrong answer? And that is 0.33% of the total mark allotted to that particular question. So there's a negative marking of 0.33% for every wrong response, and negative marking is applicable only for quantitative aptitude. There are 2 questions in quantitative aptitude which I showed you. These 2 star marked questions will carry double the mark. So basically, if the remaining 18 questions have 1 mark each, this one will carry 2 marks, whatever is star marked. Now the point that you need to remember is, if you can score double if it's a correct answer, you will also lose double in case if the answer is incorrect, which means instead of minus 0.33%, you will lose minus 0.66%. So please keep that in mind when you attempt these 2 questions. Now the topics that you can expect for quantitative aptitude, there's a varied topics there. These varied topics are probability, permutation and combination, time and distance, time and work, equations, ratios and proportions, allocations and mixtures, series and progression, average, percentage, profit and loss, problems on ages, area, shapes and perimeter, number system, HCF and LCM, and reasoning. So the entire 20 question for quantitative aptitude will be from these topics. Okay. Now for email writing, there are certain things which you need to remember you have to do, and there are certain things which you should not be doing. So let me take you through these. I've spoken about these earlier. I'm just re-emphasizing on this so that you do not make a mistake, because 80 to 90% of the students have done well in quantitative aptitude last time, but they failed in email. All right. So here is the one. Read the topic carefully. Read and understand the keywords or key phrases mentioned. Use each and every keyword, phrases mentioned. If you miss even one keyword, you will be disqualified. Even if you miss one of the keyword, the email will be invalid. Ensure the keywords are used in the same form as mentioned in the topic. For example, if there is a keyword which is buy, you cannot use bought, a past tense. Keywords should be mentioned in the same sequence as mentioned in the topic. Start a new paragraph for change of thought group, and new paragraph should start as a fresh line. Now, another set of do's which you need to remember without making any miss. The entire email should be left indent. I will show you again what do we mean by left indent. Do not leave a gap on the left when you start a new paragraph. Use the receiver's name and sender's name as mentioned in the topic. Always begin your email with greeting. Always, which is hello, do not use hi. Always end your email with salutation and summary, thanks and regards. Mention the sender's name if it's mentioned, or you can mention your name. Ensure the entire email is written within 10 minutes. Please remember, you need to click on the submit button within 10 minutes. If you exceed 10 minutes, the email will not be submitted and you will get disqualified. Which means click on the submit button before the 10-minute time is up. Clicking on the submit button even at the 10-minute mark or later will not allow the email to be submitted. The word count of the email should be as per the instruction given in the question. Alright, so I've spoken about these aspects earlier. Now, things that you need to remember in terms of what you should not be doing. This is a violation of the entire email process. So please go through this. Do not miss even a single keyword or phrase mentioned in the topic. Do not change the tense or verb form of the given topic or the keyword. Do not address the receiver as hi. Do not make any spelling mistakes, grammatical mistakes or punctuation mistakes. Do not exceed 10-minute time limit. Do not write the email below the number of words given in the instruction. So if you exceed the time or if you use less number of words, the keywords, you will get disqualified. So please keep that in mind. In the last session, I had given an assignment. I don't know how many of you have submitted in the comment section of the YouTube video, but here it is once again. I want you to write this email. This is still a part of your assignment. Okay, so I'm going to zoom this a little bit so that it's clearly visible to all of you. Please make a note of this. You need to write an email. I'm going to pause here so that you can make a note of this question. This question is going to be marked on red so that you can identify. Write an email to Bhavya Reddy giving her the details of procedure of deleting temp files from a desktop. Follow the instruction below. Follow the rules. Now these are the instructions mentioned below which you need to follow. The rules. Use all the keywords given below. Minimum words should be 50, otherwise your email cannot be validated. You will get disqualified. Addressing and signing should be done as in the question. Now addressing is Bhavya Reddy. This is the receiver. It doesn't say from whom the mail is going, so you can write your name. Common grammatical rules. Punctuation should be according to standard English. I did mention a bit of that. You can use your own phrase along with the phrases given. Now there are 10 keywords which you need to use in the email. Please make a note of this. Now what I'm going to do is read up all these keywords, then I'll help you write the email. D drive, delete, clean up, temp files, restart system, speed, cookies, browser, procedure. Okay, so I'm going to make this easy. Okay, so now I have all these keywords in this format. It's easier to refer for me when I'm writing this email. I just want to have the repository of all the keywords. Okay, now I'm going to write the email. Now if you see, I made a mistake here. Let me zoom this a little bit more. Now what is the mistake here? The name should always start with capital letter. Okay, this should be fine. The name should always start with capital letters, so I need to remove the lowercase b and replace that with uppercase B. After that, usually people use a comma after the name. This is not needed. If you have it, it's fine. If you don't have it, it's absolutely fine. Earlier days, older days, we used to use a comma here. It's redundant, it's of no use. So I say hello Bhavya. Now I can start writing the email. Okay. I am writing this email. Now, lot of us write the email like this. You see this gap here. Lot of people leave this gap. Now, if you remember, I clearly mentioned the entire email should be left indent. Means nothing can start on the right or in the middle. So it should start in the left, which means I need to get rid of this blank space. You see this blank space? I need to get rid of this. I can't use this blank space. All right. So I'm writing this email to help you to improve the system speed. This is the introduction for the email. Every email should have an introduction, the main content, and the summary. Now, how do I differentiate between these three? I need to change paragraph. Okay. So here we go. Now, these are the keywords I'm going to use: D drive, delete, cleanup, temp files, restart, system speed, cookies, browser.